All right, we are back. Hey guys, sorry that was probably a little bit more than I don't know. Whatever I said, probably said a minute. I probably said a few minutes. I probably said a bit. Either way, it was longer than that, probably. But you guys should expect that. Anytime I ever say something's going to be in a minute, or 2 minutes, or 5 minutes, just like multiply it by three, something like that. Now I'm going to be eating my fortune cookie. I will read out my fortunes to you guys. Okay. Excuse the crinkling. Oh, shit. They seal this with glue. All right. Fortune number one. Fuck! It's okay. We're still good. Why are there two? Okay. So, guys, I am reading out my fortune cookie for all you guys that are wondering and that care. But while I'm reading out my fortune cookie, you guys still need to tap the screen, okay? We really need to get the likes on up because when we get the likes on up, we tend to get more people in here and we tend to get more guests there for more conversations and things like that. So, um, if there's one thing that you guys can ever do, it's just continuously tap. And I know it's a lot. I get it. I understand. But if all of you guys can do it, it helps and takes the burden off whoever might do it a lot. So if everybody can contribute to tapping, that'd be great. Now, my fortune cookie, and I have three more I'm going to read out. Mondays hold the promise of new beginnings. Embrace them eagerly. I'll tell you, it's not Monday, so you can fuck off. Hello, Erica.
I just shared a video with you. Older millennial got drunk again.
What happened to him?
He got drunk again on live and basically said if you're on government assistance, you should unalive.
I mean,
Or
isn't
he
he
hopes to
always?
unalive.
Isn't he almost always under the influence while on live streams?
Yeah.
Seems. Oh, we
Rumor
have a
has
guest.
it he hasn't stopped peeing yet.
Hey, Francis, how are you? Your name?
How you doing?
I'm great. I just need to know your age, please, before we move forward for TikTok terms of
I'm in my
service.
50s.
Cool. All right, man. What's on your mind?
No, I'm originally from New York City, just migrated elsewhere recently. But you know, I tell you, I had a real view of them driving a city bus, and they're entertaining. They're
Who,
certainly entertaining people.
who's they? Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the ones the ones who try to make it so visually so people could see that they are, part of this community.
I, I don't know what that sentence meant.
The ones
I'm
who,
sorry. I don't know what that meant.
I've seen so many, and it's just visually entertaining.
What about them? Is
They're
just
just
visual.
visually entertaining. I'm not used. I'm not. My own norms and values are of Generation X, and the whole in the closet attitude is by far more interesting, more important than what I see today
You
by
would prefer
them.
people. You would prefer people be in the closet,
Uh, Being in the closet would mean for me not knowing that they exist.
but so
Basically,
you want to not know that they exist. It sounds like.
I don't. Like I said, it's comically entertaining.
Okay. Well, we are talking
It's
about a
a
group.
show. It's a
Okay.
show. When you act, well, it's a performance in a way. You know
If
what
you're
I
talking
mean?
about pride parades have entertainment to it, sure, but pride parades aren't. what represent people in the LGBT plus community as a whole.
It's performance, in a
But
sense where
I'm
a
asking how you feel
man
about
and
the
a
people. I'm asking how you feel about the people, not pride parades.
what's that? I'm sorry.
I'm asking how you feel about the human beings, not pride parades or anything like that. We understand pride parades exist. The human beings that exist within this community. What are your thoughts on them?
Well, being an American-born citizen, hey, we have freedom to do what we want.
Correct? I
That's
agree.
it. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay. Well, circling back to the topic, did you happen to vote for Trump? Because I'm speaking to people who either have an aversion to the LGBT plus community
But
or
that's
who
not the
voted for Trump.
topic, and I don't have to.
Well, it
I
is.
don't
It
have
is.
to.
It is. It is because it says MAGA, so it's addressing people who are MAGA.
Just to inform you, and I'm sure you definitely know about this. Donald Trump won the primary. He won the popular and the electoral vote in the last election.
Great. That has
So
nothing to do with what I just said,
if
though.
you ask people in
That has nothing to
general
do
in
with what I just said.
society, you're going to find a majority of people being a Donald Trump supporter.
Well,
Maybe not at the current,
the majority of society
not
is
at
going
the
to vote for
current
him.
quarter, not at the current quarter of the economic
No,
The
spectrum.
you're
majority didn't
even
vote.
wrong. You're even wrong at the point of the election. Even the majority of people that did vote didn't vote for Donald Trump. He got less than 50% of the vote. That's the plurality, not the majority.
Well, based on our based on our election system, he did have the majority of the. He
It's
did
called the
win the.
plurality. Yeah, he won. We all
It's
Right,
know
right.
that. Yeah,
He won the
yeah.
votes. He won the votes. He won the
We acknowledge
votes.
that. But that has nothing to do with the topic, though. My
He is
claim
the
is
president. He is the president of the United States,
I am
and I
aware of that.
respect him. I respect him for his title.
Okay, great. But that's not the topic. The topic is, and what I am addressing is people who voted for Trump. I believe you voted for hatred and harm towards the LGBT plus community. That's the topic. I'm looking for people
Oh,
who disagree. Yeah.
oh! It does say MAGA. Sorry,
Uh-huh.
sorry. It does say MAGA.
Uh-huh.
Well, look, I'm just going to stick to my opinion. I'm going to tell you what I just said and not go any further than that.
Okay, so you don't want to discuss the topic?
No, because I don't want it to lead into a downward spiral of how Donald Trump or Harris or you know
Okay.
Tim Walsh and all those clowns in
So you don't
politics.
want
I don't want
so
to
you
talk
don't
about it.
so
No,
you don't want to be
no, no.
challenged. You don't want to be challenged on
No,
your
I don't want to.
opinions.
It's not that I don't want to be challenged, but you know, it's just uh, it's just that it's government, and there's going to be people who are going to be against him, and there are going to be people that like him, and that's just the way we are as Americans.
Okay, but it sounds like you don't want to be challenged on your opinions then, so I can
Yes,
skip
I
to my
guess
test.
not. I guess
Okay.
not. I guess
Okay.
not. Thank you very much. I
All right.
gave you what I thought about them, but thank.
Take care. All right, guys. My second fortune cookie reads as follows: You will discover your passion for teaching and education. That should be for you, Erica.
Yeah, that. I've discovered it and then lost it again. So yeah,
Guys, we're looking
I
for
did discover
opposition.
that.
If you disagree with the background prompt and or voted for Trump, hit the request button. If you're watching on the tube, you can call in. But when we have a guest on up, obviously you can't call in. You got to wait for the guest to drop. Iowa, how you doing?
Good yourself.
Great. Thanks for asking. I just need to know your age for TikTok terms of service, please.
27.
Great. What's on your mind, sir?
I just coming up to discuss your prompt. Like I said, I voted for President Trump.
Okay.
I don't know if that necessarily makes me MAGA or not, but what
For
is
the sake of this topic, I would say so. But yeah, go ahead and continue
okay?
with what you're saying.
So strictly me voting for President Trump, why does that mean that I hate the LGBTQ community?
Yeah, so I think your vote goes towards harming the people in the LGBT plus community. He has put forward 5, 6, or 7 executive orders, and we can go through those, all that target people within the LGBT plus community.
Yeah, sure.
And we can even talk about those executive orders alone, which I find to be very harmful.
Yeah, sure. Let's go for
it. Yeah, so one of the first ones that he did, I think it was in March of when he got inaugurated, 2 months afterwards, kicked out all transgender individuals out of the military. All ones that have already been in the military, they've already been serving honorably, and he kicked them out just solely on the basis of them being transgender.
Right.
And I think that's very harmful.
Why is that?
You're kicking human beings out of the military based on a completely arbitrary trait that has nothing to do with your ability to serve.
Does anybody have the right to serve in the military?
I'm not talking about a right to serve, but if you're going to kick people on the basis of the military on the basis of a gender, I would find that harmful, just as if you kicked out somebody on the basis of them being white or black or whatever.
Arguably, I would say it was probably, it would have the absolute opposite effect. Right now, being in the military is kind of a scary situation, in that being removed from the military before this happened removed you from the potential harm.
But it's their choice to be in the military.
Yeah, absolutely. And the military does not have to allow you to stay. Like I said, you're not guaranteed to stay in the military.
Right, but that's the hatred and harm being towards the LGBT plus community. That's the discrimination.
Yeah.
And you seem to be okay with it.
Okay.
Would you be okay? You're going to say this is different. You're going to say this is different, but it's exactly the same thing. If he kicked out all black people out of the military, would you be okay with that?
That is completely different.
It is not different. You only say it's different because it makes you look bad. You're kicking somebody out on the basis of a trait that has nothing to do with your ability to serve. Nothing to do with your ability to serve. You think one's bad and one's okay.
Yeah.
Can you explain?
Would you agree?
How is it Iowa? How is it different? Can you explain?
Yeah. So speaking on like the ability to serve and stuff like that, I'm not a professional on transgenderism.
No, sorry, I just asked you how it's different. How is it different?
Because transgenderism and race are two completely different topics. Race and gender are different.
How is it different?
Because race and gender are different.
Hang on. No, you're not understanding. How is it okay to kick out one entire group based on a trait, but not another group based on a trait?
Gender is not a trait.
Gender is absolutely a trait.
Well, I apologize. I misspoke. You are correct. Gender is a trait. I'm sorry. I misspoke on that. I misspoke. So, like I said, I am not a transgender expert. Okay? Don't know a whole lot about it. One thing I have seen is that it is a very involved process of being transgender, whether that be, hormone replacement therapy and stuff like that. And if there's people in the military that are on hormone replacement therapy or have to live a different way because they are transgender, I think all that does is inhibits the military's ability to make them combat effective.
Okay.
Are you going to let me finish what I'm saying or no?
No. I'm just clarifying. So by that...
Well, can you clarify when I'm done or no?
I'm just clarifying. By that understanding, any cisgender man who is on some kind of hormone replacement, like they are being given extra testosterone, they should also be kicked out, correct?
Yes, I would agree with that.
So you're kicking out also tens of thousands of cisgender men who are on TRT, by the way.
That's fine. I don't have an issue with that.
Okay, so what medications are they allowed to be on?
If you are able to be combat effective.
But Iowa, those people weren't kicked out, though. That's the issue. The cisgender men who are on TRT, and we are talking about thousands of them, they were not kicked out, but the trans individuals were. So it can't be about hormone replacement therapy.
It's not. It's about them being transgender.
But what about them being transgender makes them unable to serve, even though they already were serving, some for 5, 10, 15, 20 years? What changed?
I guess you would have to ask the Secretary of War that question. He could probably answer it.
Do you think it's possible that it's discrimination?
Well, I'm sure that's not the reason he gave, but...
Well, of course he wouldn't give that.
What was the reason he gave for removing them?
That they weren't honest with themselves. I can pull up the exact wording. Give me 1 second. It was something about them not being honest with who they are. But I'll pull up the exact wording. Eric, if you want to talk to me in the meantime.
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, I'm not gonna even read Bobby Lee's comment.
Well, actually, Iowa, you were kicked. So goodbye. Bye, Tammy.
Oh.
But you can still say
now
something.
I can address. Oh, go on.
let me just say it real quick. Like, can you mute Ari in the chat? He's saying, oh, well, I think it was for the kick. He's saying some horrible things. Yeah, if you guys want to mute Ari, that's fine. But I just know it's for the kick. We're gonna get to the next guest. We're only looking for opposition, guys. Only ups.
I've found Ari, and he's muted.
Yeah. So the exact wording, I'll get to in a second. Patriarch, how you doing?
Hi.
Hey, man, I just need to know your age, please, for TikTok terms
Hold
of
on
service.
1 second. Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Yes.
How are you
Doing
doing?
great. How are
Good.
you?
I'm great, man. I just need to know your age, please, for TikTok terms of service. I have to ask every guest. So.
42.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Okay. What's on your mind?
Well, I just have a problem with the T and everything else after it.
Okay. What does Q stand for?
The what?
What does Q stand for, since that's after the T?
Okay, so you're trying to get me to say I don't know, or I don't know the answer. Why should I talk about it? It's queer.
I don't.
It's queer.
Patriarch, I don't know if you do
queer.
or do.
It's
Okay.
queer.
Okay. I don't know if you do or
But
don't.
what
I'm
does
just
that
asking.
matter? What does that matter? I don't get it.
Well, because if you don't know what something is, but you don't like it, that's a little weird. Do you always dislike things that you don't know what they are?
What? Who does
Right.
that?
You right now.
I know what queer is.
Okay.
It's
What's
a
I?
derogatory term
It's
that
not.
the lesbian,
Not
gay,
not
and,
not in
and
this context.
bisexual
Okay.
didn't like it, and they got
Okay.
rid of it.
Okay.
And then
Cool. What's
trans
I?
people came around, and now
Okay.
it's
What's
okay
I?
again.
Okay. What's I?
Intersex. Why?
Cool. Great. And A?
I think it's agender.
Okay. So why don't you like them? Why don't you agree with them?
Were you waiting for me to say
I don't
something
know
I
if
didn't
you.
know?
I don't know if you know them or not. That's why I asked. It wasn't supposed to be a trick thing.
You sound upset. Why are
I
you
don't
so
know if you know it
angry?
or not. Patriarch. So
Why are
why
you
do
so
you not like
angry?
them? Patriarch, what do you not
Calm
like?
down.
Patriarch, I'm trying to ask you a question. What do
I
you
know,
not
but
like
calm
about them?
down. Let's
Cool.
be calm.
Cool.
Let's be
What
civil.
Patriarch, I'm trying to converse with you. What
Yeah,
do you
let's
not
be civil.
converse? I don't know why I called you converse, but we want to converse. Okay. What do you not like
Let's be
about them?
civil.
What do you not like about them for the seventh time? You're now on mute. Mods, if you're muted, please don't. Okay. What do you not like about them?
Market's working for free.
What do you not like about them?
Because they can't prove what they are.
Okay. Well, what are they that they can't prove?
We have to trust. It's like a trust me, bro theory.
Okay.
That's false.
Patriarch, are you
Hang on.
straight? Are you straight, Patriarch?
Here we go. Reverse psychology. Yeah.
Okay.
How do you know you're straight?
Prove it. Prove it. Prove it.
Oh, how do you know?
Prove it.
No, said prove it.
Prove
Also,
it.
Patriarch, intersex people can absolutely prove that they're intersex because they only know they're intersex because they've been karyotyped, which is a scientific process.
What about trans? How about that?
But no, we're waiting for you to prove that you're straight.
I don't know, but since you wanted to prove the intersex is, how about we prove everybody else, Erica?
Well, we know that trans people, when they do brain scans, have differences in their brains. We know that. It's been proven by science. I can't hear you. Your microphone is terrible.
Oh, really?
Yes, so really.
Really?
So why is it hard for you guys to be accepted?
For who to be accepted?
Who are you referring to?
Trans people. Why is it hard for you guys to be
Neither Doug or I are trans, so I don't know why you're asking us why it's hard for us to be accepted. We are not trans.
We should ask you why you have a hard time accepting them.
Trans people in general.
Guys, we can get two new guests at 15K likes. So if you guys want a new one, tap a little bit quicker. We're looking for opposition, please. Yeah, I don't understand why you decide to like or not like somebody or accept them based on their ability to prove who they are. I don't see what that has to do with
I
it.
think that the LGB should actually just separate themselves.
Oh gosh, I never heard
It'd
that
be
one
a lot
before.
better.
That's an original talking point. Never heard that one before. And what
I'm
would that
just saying,
effectively
it should
change?
be. It
Okay,
should be.
but Patriarch, the people
I
that you
don't. You
don't
know,
like,
I don't understand why do trans
Patriarch,
people get mad when we say that? Why?
Patriarch, the people that you dislike would still exist even if we separated the letters. Trans people would still exist. IA, all those people would still exist.
Oh
That
no, that's
changes
fine.
nothing. But that changes nothing.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you just want
So why do
letters
they
to
get
be.
all upset?
So Patriarch, essentially
Why
you
do they
just want
get upset?
Patriarch, essentially you just want letters on a screen to be separated, which
Why do
changes
they get
nothing.
upset then when we say separated?
You
Why
would
do
have to
they
ask
get
them.
so upset?
I don't know. Ask them.
Yeah.
I'm not transgender, so maybe ask
It's
them.
not LGB without the T. It's not LGB without the T.
Okay.
Why
That's
are
all we
you
hear
getting
every
upset?
platform.
I'm sorry. Are you okay? You seem strange.
Oh, I'm fine. He's the one that's crashing out.
Nobody's crashing out. It's just that you're
think
not
we're fine.
listening, and your
Oh no,
microphone
I'm
is
listening.
horrible. Your
No,
microphone
it's
is
not.
horrible.
No, it's not.
It
Okay.
really is.
Oh, okay.
It's
Sure.
my
It's not.
earbuds are in right now, so it changed.
Okay. Yeah, we know. I see the comments. Guys, remember new guests at 15,000 likes. Yeah, dude. I don't understand what your reasoning is. Then you just don't like people
Mm,
based
I
on
just don't
arbitrary
like
characteristics,
people being in spaces that they're not supposed to be in.
such
Stay out
as.
of women's spaces. Stay out of locker rooms,
Okay. What harm is
Why
being
do
done?
you care?
bathrooms.
Okay.
Why do
Explain the
you
harm.
care?
Why do
Explain the
you
harm.
care?
I'm asking
Okay,
you to explain the harm.
I'm sorry. Who am I supposed to answer
Just
here?
okay. You can just answer my question. Explain the harm, please, of trans men and trans women
Yeah,
using
Erica,
their respective
hush
restrooms.
it up. Thank you.
Please don't. Okay. Can you answer my question?
Because they're male.
That's not, I'm asking you to explain the harm. That's not a harm.
Oh, they're male. They're much stronger. No matter how much
That's not explaining harm.
testosterone
That's
they.
not telling me the harm.
What's that?
That's not telling me the
Because they're
harm.
the male majority.
That's not
They're
telling
the
me the
male
harm.
majority.
Okay.
98%.
Okay. So
98% of men.
okay.
Right.
Cool. Great. So what harm is being done?
Male.
So what
Thank
harm
you.
is being done? So what harm is being done? Saying
They're
that
part
they're
of it. They're part
part
of
of
the
what?
98%.
Part of what?
People who go do essay against women.
Oh, okay.
They're part of it.
Okay. So trans women who you believe are men, they SA cis women at higher rates?
They're
Is that what you're
male.
telling me? Is that what you're
They're
telling me?
male.
That so answer my question. Are
They
trans
have
women
penises.
Hey! Answer the question. Are you telling me they
Yeah, I
SA
answered by
women?
saying male.
Are you telling me they SA women at higher rates? Yes or no?
Yeah, they're lesbians. A lot of them are
Great.
lesbians.
Show me evidence that trans women commit SA at higher rates. Show me the data.
Why did I say higher rates? I said
That's
they're
what you
part
said.
of the high rates of 98%.
So show
I
that
said
trans women do that.
98%. 98.
Shut up and show me the
I was
evidence.
talking about I was talking about overall.
Show me the evidence. So show it.
Not the bathroom. Not the bathroom.
Show it.
Show what?
The
98%
evidence.
of essays caused by men?
Patriarch, show me that trans women SA people at higher rates. Show me that.
No, I
If you
didn't say
can't,
that. And if I did,
yes,
I
you did.
apologize.
Okay, so then there's no harm
Okay,
being
I'm
done.
sorry.
Great. Perfect, so there's no harm being
But
done.
there is.
But if they're
But there
not
is.
committing SA at higher rates, then what's the harm?
But they're part of it. All it takes is one, right?
One what?
All it takes is one person like that to do it, to be a part of it, right?
But hang on a minute. If it only takes one person, then the 2% of essays that happen at the hands of women that women could also assault women, right? It's like cis women could also
Yeah.
essay
Yeah,
cis
well,
women.
All it
that
takes is
women can
one.
attack
All it
women.
takes
That's
is one.
fine.
Yeah, all
It
it takes
just
is
takes
one.
Women
one.
can attack women, no problem.
So what you're
No
telling us
problem.
is that in fact, nobody should be in a changing room with anybody else, right?
I'm sorry that majority of these trans women didn't go through puberty and get
Why
the.
can't you answer her
Anyway,
question?
so what you're telling us is nobody should be in a changing room with anybody else because there is always a
female
chance
born.
that I'm
Female
still
born. That's
talking.
it.
Hi, I'm the
Female.
patriot. You're in a matriarchy now, okay? What you're telling me is that nobody should ever be in a changing room with anybody else because there's always a chance that somebody might essay you.
Now you're
Always.
allowed to speak. That's how this works.
Only females are allowed in female spaces. That's it.
But what if females are assaulting females? That's okay, right?
Hey, that's normal. That's
What?
It's
99%
normal.
normal.
What the fuck?
For
By
it
the
to be
way,
happening,
the
it's
most
normal.
likely group of people to
When
be
men are in there.
essayed, the most likely group of people to be
Not when males
essayed,
are in there.
the most likely group of people to be essayed in bathrooms are young boys by older cis men. So, I'm going to suggest that boys and men shouldn't be allowed in a changing room together.
Male.
No, okay, I'll use your terminology. Younger males by older males. So they shouldn't be allowed in a bathroom together, correct?
What's that?
This is the problem. You're so busy trying to talk and correct me that you're not actually listening.
What are you talking about?
So listen, you'll know what
Males
she's
and
talking
young.
about.
What are you talking about?
If you listen to her, you'll know what she's talking about. Guys, remember, 15,000 likes we can get to new guests. We're almost there. We're looking for opposition.
I said the most likely group of people to be essayed by somebody else in a bathroom is young men or young males by older
Why is
cis
that?
males. By older cis
Why is
males.
that?
So
Well,
what
that's
do
a
you mean,
different
why
topic.
is that?
We can get to that. It's a different
Why
topic, but it's not
Why is
relevant.
that?
Why it is
Why
not
is that?
important.
That doesn't make sense.
How
Well,
doesn't it
it
make
is what it
sense?
is. It is what it is.
Make
I'm
them
sorry.
gay. That's what gay
Okay.
is.
No,
Cool.
actually it's not.
Gay males would be attacking gays.
No, that's not true. So I just want to let you know that P3DOs, which is
I'll
what
let
that
you
would
know.
actually stop. P3DOs, which is what that would actually be. It's based on power. It's not based on the sex of the victim.
Source. Where's the source
Oh,
at? All the
which
priests that do it are gay.
Sorry, I'll
Gay
show you
priest.
my source. I'll show you my source when you show me yours.
Gay priest.
But
Yeah,
that's not
gay
helping
priest,
your
not
point.
just priest.
Patriarch, that's not helping your point, by the way.
Gay priest, right?
Wait, can I take
Okay.
this in a slightly different
Gay
direction real
priest.
quick?
Oh, not a gay guy. Not a gay guy. Oh no, gay
Hey,
issue.
hey.
Hey,
Anyway,
I like shit on my dick. Hey, I'm
cool.
clean
So,
as hell, but I got like
What the
shit on my
fuck?
dick.
I'm gonna kick. He just said weird shit
yeah,
right there.
yeah, that's very odd. Okay, never mind.
That was just, guys, we're looking for opposition, please. If you disagree with the background. Did he literally just say sit on my... That would make
No,
him gay.
saying,
That would make him gay.
So he was saying there is certain matter on that item that would take place due to a type of relation that would happen between men or women as well, realistically.
Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you're joining live. Ooh, Jacob, we're getting feedback. So if are you on Bluetooth? Oh, you didn't mean to come up? I'll bring you down. No worries. Guys, we're looking for opposition. I understand some people accidentally request. No worries. Make sure you guys check the bottom of the screen to see if you accidentally requested or not, okay? Trying to get to opposition here.
Isn't it wild that he would out himself like that? By the way, his bio was hilarious. His bio was, Men run the world, and we always will. And if you're a woman looking at my profile, stop being a stalker. And
That
the
was
answer
definitely
to that is
Lucha,
nothing.
right? I assume that was Lucha. Everybody said it was.
Yeah, I
Hey,
think
Carl.
so.
Hey, Carl. How you doing?
Hey, how are you? Finally.
I'm good. I'm good, sir. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it takes a while to get on up. I apologize for the
Yeah.
wait. I just need to know your age, please, for TikTok terms of service.
I'm 56.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What's on your minds?
Um, they went after the kids. I mean, that's ultimately the answer.
Okay. They meaning the LGBT plus as a
The
whole, or
well, I mean, I see them at well, it depends on who you talk to. I mean, you can't say as a whole because there's gay people that gays against groomers. Have you heard about them?
I mean, everybody should be against groomers, but sure.
Well,
All right. So going after the kids, can you explain what that means?
I mean, there's one word that should never be associated with kids is trans and gay.
Well, but trans
So,
and gay kids exist, though.
well, it's been manufactured to have them believe that.
Well, but then
Okay,
how do?
so
But there's plenty of gay people who are 50, 60, 70, 80 years old right now. They were a kid at some point. Was it
Well, yeah,
manufactured back in the
it's
50s and 60s?
I mean,
Or
not that for the past 20 years is really what's been pushed.
but then how do
But
old gay people exist then, and old trans people exist?
it's what they've been brought up and
No, Carl, you're
well,
not listening to me. Old gay and trans people, they went to school in the 60s. That wasn't occurring back then. How do they exist?
damn, I got this now. TikTok. Okay, I just had a TikTok thing pop up. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm just asking how, because there are gay and trans people today who are 60, 70, 80 years old. They went to school in the 60s, right? 70s, maybe,
It
whatever.
doesn't
How do they exist if it wasn't being manufactured back then?
show me they were gay when they were kids.
But you don't, so they became gay? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, it happens, and now it's pushed even more now than what it was.
How does
Steve, do
one
you think
go?
that being gay is a choice?
Go ahead, yeah, go ahead, Corey. Go ahead. No,
No,
you're
I'm
good,
sorry.
you're
Do you
good.
think that being gay is a choice? Steve. Steve.
His name's
Steve
Carl.
can't talk right now. He's reversing.
Oh, Carl. Sorry,
It's
Carl.
all good.
Carl, do you think that?
The background noise is loud. Carl, you got to stop doing what you're doing right now and just pay attention to us,
Okay,
please.
but they came after the kids. I mean, we see it now.
No, I
And
understand that.
Hold on, Carl.
This gender thing.
Wait, Carl, you're saying they're coming after the kids. I have so many questions. Like, do you think that being gay or lesbian or straight is a choice?
Yes, 100%. I know Lady Gaga made a song, and I'll believe
Wait,
that.
so,
But
but
go on.
you understand that we have determined a genetic component
Well,
to attraction, right?
I mean, this has
Would
been
by
recent.
definition mean it's not a choice, right?
Well, I mean, this has been recent. I think it's
Okay, yeah, we cracked the human
lot of-
genome relatively recently too.
Well-
It doesn't mean we don't know the human genome now.
well, it's all part of this. I see the left using marginalized people as pawns because you didn't have this problem 30
You didn't
years
answer
ago.
his question. Carl, answer his
Steve,
question.
Yeah,
you didn't
dude, that
answer
doesn't-
whether
like,
people
what-
choose to be straight or gay. Just answer it directly. And if so, when
It-
did you choose to be straight?
I mean, it's being straight is normal.
So when did
No,
you
no,
choose to be
Carl.
straight? When did you choose that?
Yeah,
It's being. I was never raised around. Did I know about gay people? Yes, gay people always existed.
Answer my
And I know
question.
the
When
gays try to
when did
use that
you choose to be straight? Tell me
I
that.
was always normal.
So you didn't
I was
choose to be
always
straight.
normal.
So you didn't choose to be
I
straight.
was always normal.
When did you realise, Carl, how old were you when you realised that you were attracted to girls?
And part of the natural thing.
He can't answer a
Sorry,
question
Carl?
directly. He said it. I think he
Carl,
said it's a
how-
natural thing. Carl,
I mean,
speak into
I
your
don't
phone.
know. The first
But
girl I
how
remember
old were you
kissing
when
was
you
6.
realised?
The first girl I remember kissing was 6. So I'm told.
Okay, so there's people in the comments that are telling you that they knew they were gay or they knew they were trans when they were 5 or 6 years old.
I mean, it's
How
a true
come?
thing to do now.
Stop. How come your experience is real, and you think theirs isn't.
Well, I mean, because it's a trendy thing to do now.
Was it a trendy thing in 1978, Carl? Carl?
It wasn't, because you didn't have that. I mean, it didn't.
Okay,
So
but people in the comments are telling you that that in 1978, when they were 5, they realized they were gay.
I'm sure they were. I mean, that's what they believe now.
So
I mean,
you're just going to deny. So Carl,
Carl,
effectively, what's happening now is your experience is true. Every other experience is a lie. Isn't that very convenient? Carl, how are you an adult? Carl, how are you an adult and you are this immature where you can't accept other people's experiences, but yours is the only one that's true? That's fucking crazy.
Why should I accept your pedophilia? Tell me, why should I accept your pedophilia?
Carl, first of all, please do not say that word on TikTok. Carl, first of all, don't say that word on TikTok. And secondly, you voted for one. So you seem to be cool with it because you voted for one. Okay, and you still support him. So you support P3DOs. I'm sorry.
I did not vote for Biden, and I do not.
Okay, you voted for Trump, who unfortunately is in the Epstein files thousands of times, with many, 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 many stories of him being with very underage people. Okay, so hate to break it to you, man.
Beyond that, though, like I just out of curiosity, because I mean, straight people, especially in more. Oh, okay, never mind.
I didn't kick him. He just left. We'll get to the next guys. Guys, we're looking for opposition. Yeah.
What is the most tired anti-LGBT argument that you guys have heard? Because coming after the kids is probably a close third for me.
Yeah, well, I like the LGB, but everything after that, they should be separated. Like that's a very common one, but it means nothing. Like that doesn't mean anything. Their issues with trans people won't go away if you separate those letters. All right, we got 4. Hey, Snap, are you opposition?
I'm sorry, I touched it with my thumb accidentally.
You're okay. It happens to the best of us. I'll bring you down. No worries. Take care. Okay. Hey Coda, how you doing?
Good. How you going?
I'm doing well, thank you. Just for TikTok terms of service, I need to know your age, please.
28.
Okay. What's up? What's on your mind?
I'm not part of MAGA or anything like that.
Okay.
I did vote for Trump, but it just shows like he was more of a plant. So it kind of sucks that I don't regret it, but at the same time, it's like I don't feel like it would have been very different. But
what do you mean by plant? Like, I don't want to delve into this whole side topic, but I'm just curious. Planted by who?
I don't necessarily think. Okay, maybe I phrased it wrong. Not necessarily a plant. Maybe he came in there with his own agenda, and then as time went on, he had changed his decisions or changed his motives. I don't really feel like maybe he wasn't a full-on politician when he got in there, but now it's like it's the opposite way.
All right, well, that's fine. So you voted for Trump. What are your thoughts on the LGBT plus community?
I don't. At first, I was more liberal about it. It's like, if you like whoever you like, then go ahead and do it. It has nothing to do with me. It doesn't affect me or nothing like that.
Okay.
But as time goes on, it feels like it's affecting children. And now it's like it is kind of going after the people that don't really care about it.
Okay.
So then it kind of pushed me towards that.
How are they going after children?
So, like, you have, like, drag queens that read books to kids in libraries. You have, like, the hormone replacement therapy that happens at, like,
let's address one of those.
Very specific time. Okay.
Sure, yeah. Let's address,
do
like,
the hormones.
We can get to the hormones. We'll get to it, I promise.
Okay.
And guys, if you can keep tapping, that'd be great. We can get to a new guest at 50,000 likes, okay? 50. All right, so drag queens reading to kids. What's the harm being done there?
Well, the harm that's being done there is I don't think that's natural. I don't think that, like, it's done in a way that's really just trying to be like, hey, like we're trying to just, I don't know, like what's the point of that? Like what is the point of like me
I can
being a
tell.
drag queen
I can tell
and being like
you.
read a book?
I can tell you if you like, Kota. Would you like to
Yeah,
know?
could you tell me?
Yeah, kids like people in costumes. They like fun colors. They like being entertained. And as far as I'm concerned, as a teacher, I don't give a fuck who's reading to children as long as they're being read to. And if that can engage some kids who are not being engaged, reading is fundamental. For example, it's reading that lets us know that the word's library rather than library. Um, you know, reading is fundamental. Reading is not only important for its own sake, but reading is your access to every subject in a curriculum. We know, for example, that you're likely, the best indicator of you being good at math when you're older is actually your reading scores when you're younger, not your math scores. Reading it, and the way that we get people to read is by engaging them in the act of reading. I don't care if you're dressed up as Spider-Man, I don't care if you're dressed up as Wonder Woman. I don't give a fuck. It engages children in reading, all of
Yeah,
it.
but exactly. But you can dress up as Spider-Man. You can dress up as like all this other thing. But why does it need to be like a man
It
that's
doesn't.
dressing as
Hang
a
No, it
on.
doesn't.
woman?
It
Doesn't.
Go ahead.
doesn't. Would it be okay if I dressed up as Spider-Man to read to kids? Would that be okay?
I mean, yeah,
Why would that be okay though? Because that's me as a woman dressing as a man. Why would that be okay?
because it's not like it doesn't have like this weird agenda where it's got to
Well,
be a
well,
man
it
dressing up
could.
as a woman.
It could have the exact same agenda. What do you mean it doesn't have the same agenda? What's
Okay,
the
so what's
difference?
Well,
well
there is no
because the
agenda. The agenda is to
storyline.
read. The agenda is to read to kids, to educate them.
No, the agenda. Well, it's like I have to be a man dressed up as a woman to be a drag queen, right?
I think you think it happens more than it does, right? Because that's what makes the news.
Yeah, that's why I
That's
said.
what.
That's why.
But but I think it's
Go ahead.
important to put in perspective, right? Like those make the headlines, right? Like those make the TikTok posts, the Instagram posts. You're not going to see a TikTok post or a news story of an example of what Erica said, or of somebody just dressed in typical clothing reading. Those don't make the headlines, right? But like the drag queens, yes, they do, but it doesn't happen at the rate that you think it does, right? It's not like this
Well,
this huge thing.
Yeah, that's why I said let's go to the hormones because it's like the drag queen. I guess you could go ahead and try to like maneuver around it, but you can't. The agenda is a man dressed as a woman. Does
no,
that make sense?
that's not
Like
an
you can look
agenda.
behind the Spider-Man. It's like,
That's
oh,
not.
Spider-Man
Hang on.
has its own story, correct? Like we know what a Spider-Man is.
Gotcha.
Kota, stop. There's no agenda behind anybody reading to anybody apart from engaging children in reading, right? There is no agenda. You for some reason have been brainwashed into thinking that somebody has a bad agenda. Do you believe in parental rights, that a parent has the right, that the rights to kind of make decisions in their child's life? Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so how is a child getting to a drag reading in a library?
I don't know. Maybe because they I don't know.
Because their parents are taking them, and most of the
But
time,
wouldn't that go ahead? Go ahead.
their parents stay with them to watch that because it's entertainment.
Yeah, but just because the parent is doing it doesn't make it right. You know,
That's
like
not what she's.
parents could do a lot
What
of
does
That's
bad
not what she's
things
saying.
as well.
what makes it what makes something right or wrong?
Well, do you believe in a God or no?
No.
Okay, so there is no such thing as right and wrong, right?
By the way, where in
Well,
the Bible does it say? Where in the Bible does it say that drag queens shouldn't read to children? What's that passage?
Well, it's not specifically drag queens should not read to women. No,
go
it's
Read
go
not.
to
go.
women?
I mean, sorry, my bad. Kids, sorry, my bad. It's not
Oh,
exactly word for word in there.
that's a weird gift. Thank you,
But
Gabby. Let me,
why?
I gotta read
But hold
this. Hold on.
on. But
I
why
gotta read
does
this.
it matter if it
All right, good,
for
good.
you?
I gotta read
Why
this
does it
Venmo real
matter for
quick.
you?
I gotta read this Venmo real quick, and then Corey, I know you want her to go. Christina with a K, W Christina in the comments. Thank you for the one on the blue app with a V. It says Lucy Darling is a drag queen. She is a woman who dresses up as a woman and does comedy/magic shows. Yeah, how would you feel about that? A woman dressing up as just another woman. Would that be okay?
Well, that's not a drag queen.
But,
It's
then what's the
it is.
fundamental difference then? It would be, but what's the fundamental difference?
A drag queen would, by my understanding, a drag queen is a man that dresses up as a woman.
No, the term drag just means dressed as girls. So girls dress as girls all the time. So dressed as girl, drag literally, the letters mean dressed as girl. That's what the
Okay,
letters mean.
so my understanding of drag queen is wrong. Then, if it's not a man dressing up as a woman, then all right, I guess.
Remember, we got 50,000 likes. We can get 2 new guests. I know it's a bit away, but if you tap, we can get through quicker. We are looking for ops. Guys, my pay links are in the bio. I'll read any question or comment out loud to the chat, and that means any question or comment. While it's not needed, I appreciate it. Gabby, thank you again. Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, I do find, because I feel like there's a level of hypocrisy here, because you seem to have an issue with parents taking their children to watch drag queen story hours. I remember growing up, my parents forced me to go to Sunday school, where a pastor
W.
read to me like the books from the Bible, and the Bible is filled with some pretty dark stuff. I'm just curious, is it okay that my parents took me to have a book read to me by adults to indoctrinate me into a belief there, but somehow it's wrong when drag queens just read like children's books with no ulterior motive?
But you do realize you moved into a position that there is no such thing as bad, good,
That's not.
shady.
I got
Like
some
there
bad.
is no
Coda,
such thing as
Coda,
I
that.
don't.
So
I don't think you
now
said
you
that.
moved into. Hold
Coda,
on, hold on.
hold on. No,
But
Coda, I'm going to
is
stop
it?
you real quick.
But
Coda, we're
hold on,
not going to
Coda.
get
Hold on.
into.
But you're assuming that, let's say, going to Sunday school to be indoctrinated as if it's a bad thing, but you don't have a thing that is bad. Like
I
I
do.
don't get it.
Wait,
No,
I
no,
do. No, so hold on.
Like
It's
bad would
Coda.
just be whatever you
Coda,
don't
Coda,
like.
we're not going to go down the moral philosophy bullshit. But the simple fact of
But
the
it's
matter is,
true though,
no, it's
right? I
not.
mean,
It's not.
okay.
Subjective versus objective concepts
So
of
so the
morality
one that's
does
so
not mean that
when
I can. Hold on. I
okay,
let
go
you
ahead.
talk. I
Go
let you
ahead.
talk.
Go ahead.
Whether
Go ahead.
or not morality is subjective or objective does not matter here.
It kind of does.
I can hold a
Well, let Corey
subjective
finish, and then you can
worldview and still say something is good or bad, depending on what I base my moral views off of. So, your entire point there is pointless and doesn't matter. I would prefer you to actually address that whether or not you're being a hypocrite when you have an issue with drag queens reading a book, but not, say, a youth pastor reading a book to children.
Yeah, but again, it's subjective. So the youth pastor reading the book is good, right? That
Why?
could be good. But what? Well,
Why?
why can't it not? You just
Yeah.
said
Well,
it's
no,
subjective.
I could go down this path of why I think it's bad to teach kids that like the book of Genesis is true compared to a drag queen reading green eggs and ham.
Yeah, but that's all subjective. It doesn't matter.
The point is that I think it's fine if parents let their kids go to or take their kids to either or. You have an issue with one and not
You
the other.
but you have no
One of us,
grounding for that being fine.
hold on. One of us holds a consistent standard. One of us is being hypocritical here. So you can keep trying to turn this around to some sort of bullshit concept of morality. I'm not going to let you do that. So we
Did
can.
you get taught? Did you have to get taught your standard of morality, or were you just born
You,
with
you,
it?
you had to.
Neither.
You did, Coda.
Hey,
Apparently.
I'm saying
Apparently.
everyone does. So did
Coda,
you get taught
Coda,
that
Well,
Coda,
your
no.
standard? I'm just asking. No. Well,
Coda,
where did you learn
everybody,
that?
Coda, it
Where
doesn't
did you
matter.
learn?
It doesn't matter.
It does
No,
matter.
it doesn't matter for this conversation because this is not discussing the moral concept here. And again,
So where did you
moral,
learn your
Coda,
moral concept is
Coda,
what I'm asking.
Coda, I don't.
Oh,
It doesn't matter
Jesus.
for this conversation. I'm sorry. This is so boring. This getting like
Okay.
this is why nobody wants to talk about this. There's
Okay, then we
350
won't talk
people
about it.
and nobody cares. Getting back onto the actual topic though, I'm pointing
Okay.
out that I'm fine with parents taking their kids to either, even though I find one to be problematic and one not. You seem to actually think parents should not be allowed to take their parents to one, but should be allowed or should be even encouraged to take their kids to another one. Do you understand that's a hypocritical concept?
Do you but see, like, this is what I'm saying. It's like you're using words you don't even believe in. Like your world, you can't even account for everything you just said. Like
Again,
that's my issue. Like, okay,
I'm fine with
we can get
parents.
into it,
I'm fine
but
with parents taking their kids to church, and I'm fine with parents taking their kids to fucking drag queen story hour. You are not fine with it. You
yes, I'm not
understand
fine
one
with
of us
it.
is consistent, one of us is being hypocritical.
Yeah, you're being hypocritical.
Because I'm fine with it in both cases.
Where's the hypocrisy,
You're
Caleb?
not.
Where's
You're
the
not
hypocrisy in what you
fine
said?
with them. You're not fine with the Genesis one. So now you're switching to.
No,
You just
I
said
just
I'm
don't
not fine with them.
No,
You
I
seem
I'm
don't
not
think
fine with them.
I have issues with reading the Bible. I don't have issues with a pastor reading a book to kids, right? Because I recognize that, for example, Genesis is fake.
What?
But again,
Genesis is fake.
I mean,
That's crazy.
it's a
That's
fiction.
crazy.
It's a
okay. I
fictional
don't.
account of stuff. Anyways, yeah,
We
I'm
don't
sorry. I
want to
don't
get
want to.
into a morality. Yeah. I just don't. Let's not venture into
Okay,
morality arguments.
but
Okay.
that's where this stems from, right? Because it's like I'm saying that it's immoral for
But
like
why? But why?
the
Why is it
because it's
moral to
not like
Well, I want
because
you
it's
to
not.
not what?
justify it biblically. Hang on, justify it biblically that it's immoral for a drag queen to read to a child.
Yeah, that's the whole thing,
The
right?
whole it stems from like the whole like gay thing and all that good
There's
stuff.
nothing in the New Testament said by Jesus about being gay. Not one thing.
Yeah, but I have the Old Testament as well, so it's
Oh,
kind of like
but hang on a minute. There's Jesus, who you as a Christian hold higher than anybody else, said nothing about it. Not one thing.
well, Jesus is God, so when God is speaking in the Old Testament, that is
Hang on,
God.
hang on. The Old Testament, did God write it?
No, he didn't
Who wrote
necessarily
it?
write it. I
Who wrote
mean,
it?
it's a whole lot of many different authors over a
Okay,
large
so
span of time.
people wrote it, correct?
Yeah.
So how do you know those people were speaking on behalf of God and not on behalf of themselves?
Well, first of all, it's written over thousands of years. It's
Okay, and how many
consistent.
times
It's
does it
consistent.
say that being gay is wrong?
It says it, I believe, in like Leviticus or no Deuteronomy.
So
I
once.
believe that
So once.
there's like a whole rule of like even Jesus. Since you brought up Jesus did say that marriage is between a man and a woman.
Okay, but people
So
don't have to hang on. But people don't have to get married, correct?
I would say they do need to get married. It's
No,
part of like
but Jesus didn't say that people had to get married either.
yeah, but it's also like man is made for woman. You know,
No,
woman is made for man.
where does Jesus say that?
Guys,
Well,
keep
marriage,
talking.
marriage
No,
is
where does
saying
Jesus say no? He's saying in his opinion that the institution of marriage should be reserved for a man and a woman. Where does
yeah.
Jesus say that not getting married is wrong?
Well, it's not part of you. You get what I'm saying? So,
Sorry,
like, when you
I'll
look,
ask you again.
okay, so, okay,
Where
all
does
right,
Jesus say that not getting married is wrong?
all right. You gonna let me talk, or you just gonna
Go
keep trying to
ahead.
go ahead?
Just
I'll
answer
let
it
Okay,
you
directly.
talk if you
sure.
answer my
Okay, hold
question.
on. Okay, I will show you. Okay, ready? So, in Genesis 1, when God created Adam,
No,
what
that's not
happened?
Jesus. That's not Jesus. I want you to tell me where Jesus said it was wrong. And by the way, we've already established that all of those stories in the Old Testament, none of them are God actually speaking. They're humans writing down what they say God has said. You don't know that none of them are writing that for their own purposes. So I want Jesus, please.
Guys, keep tapping. Remember, 50,000 likes, we can get to a new guest. If you're in a request box, hang tight. We can get to you shortly. We're looking for opposition, please. Go ahead, Coda, answer.
Can you give me like 2 minutes because she just keeps interrupting? So can you give me like 2 minutes to talk?
Just address her question directly, because that's what she wants.
I am addressing her correctly, but she's having a
Directly,
misunderstanding
not
that
correctly.
yeah, but so Jesus is God. So when I go to the Old Testament, Jesus is there. So can you get that through your head?
Right.
You
And
good? You
who
good?
wrote? We've
Okay.
already
Okay. Hold
established.
on.
No,
Let
no,
me
you're
go,
not. No, because you're not answering my
bro.
question.
I am answering your question. You just don't like it.
No, we've already established that humans wrote down what's in the Bible, correct? Not God, right?
God revealed things to humans which they wrote down.
And
Do
how
you
do you
have a
know?
okay.
Prove that none of those humans were lying and acting in their own interests.
So when you look at the Bible and you look at the span of time that the Bible took, it being consistent is miraculous. You can't have the Christian that's coming up with their own things, like in Protestants and stuff like that. They have many different interpretations, they have many different thoughts. All right. So it's kind of just like the fact that we have a book that has over thousands of years of many different authors all saying the same thing is a representation of a universal mind. Do you
So
know what a universal mind is?
show me more than once in the Bible then where it says that being gay is wrong. And I specifically want an example from Jesus, please.
So when Jesus says marriage is between a man and a woman,
We've already addressed that.
is that a
We've already
negate?
addressed that. We've already addressed that.
Her- No, because okay, so then so when she says, "Oh, where does it say that they need to be married?" Okay, that's the next question, right?
And it
Right?
doesn't.
Okay, so the answer would be in Genesis 1, when God created Adam and Eve, he created Eve out of Adam. So Adam is missing a portion of him within the woman. So
What does it say about marriage? That
a
mentions
man,
marriage?
hold on,
Not at all.
a man by himself is not good. That's actually the first time God said something was not good was when man was by himself.
That
That's
has nothing to do with
false.
marriage. That has nothing to do with
And
marriage.
that's I
How is
just
that
want to point
false? Go ahead.
that it's false because right. And if you know Genesis 1 really well, which I
Go ahead.
do, because I
Go
teach it
ahead.
multiple times a year, every year, what happens is God creates Adam, and Adam is kind of lonely. So God then creates, well, this is actually Genesis 2,
What does
the
he
end of
say? What does he say?
this is actually the end of Genesis 2 rather than Genesis 1, because Genesis 1, it doesn't really talk about it in any detail. Genesis
Right,
2,
Genesis 2, yeah. Mhm.
Genesis 2 really goes into detail about why God creates animals and humans. So God, and by the way, it's not consistent because in Genesis 1, God creates the animals, then he creates Adam. In Genesis 2, God creates Adam, then he creates the animals. And he brings the
No, you're
animals.
already wrong.
No, I'm not. He brings
He
the
brings the
animals.
animals to Adam to have them named.
He
He
brings the
doesn't
animal.
create the animals.
He brings.
Genesis
He
1 and 2
brings.
do contradict each other, just a heads up.
Yeah, they do.
They contradict.
He brings
They're
the animals to Adam because he wants Adam to have a companion, and Adam looks through the animals and is like, nah, not into that. So then God creates Eve. Eve is like created after all of the animals because Adam doesn't want an animal to keep him company. By the way, where is the wedding ceremony conducted in Genesis 1, 2, or 3?
At the end of 2, where Adam gives Eve the name because she's the mother of all living. Then God says that this
It
is
doesn't
marriage, that
say
the
her
man will
name.
leave,
It
man
doesn't
will.
say her name.
So where
It
does
says the
Eve? Where
woman.
is
It
Eve?
just says the
Where's Eve?
woman.
It does
Where's
It just
Eve?
says the woman.
Eve. What's Eve? What
It
does Eve
just
mean?
says the woman.
What does Eve mean? What does Eve?
I don't think you're listening to her, man.
I am listening to her. She just butchered
She
Genesis
just
2 to fit her weird obsession with
I did
animals,
not butcher
where
it.
nothing.
Kota, how often have you read Genesis 2? or Genesis? In fact, 1, 2, and 3.
I've
How
read,
often?
I read it. I read it all the time. I have textuals. I have my notes on it. All of it. I've read it through the Hebrew. There's nothing in the Hebrew that suggests that Adam had these interactions with the animals like you're suggesting. You're
Okay, let me
only
go
you're
find it. Let
inter.
me go find it.
Go ahead, and I want to see the Hebrew. I want to see what you're saying because nothing in there says.
No.
I hate Bible discussions. I hate them so
They
much.
get a little frustrating. Guys, remember, we're almost at 50,000 likes. Thanks for the taps, guys. You guys are doing great. Keep up
You
the
guys say
solid work.
how?
50,000
By the
likes, we'll
way,
get a new
Kodo,
guest.
I don't.
by the way, Coda, while Erica is looking at that, you mentioned Jesus bringing up this idea of
She's not gonna find it, but go ahead.
a man and a woman together. Are you discussing his conversation with the woman at the well?
Man and the woman being together.
Yeah, are you
Uh,
discussing that? Are you referencing the part where he talks to the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman at the well?
No, I don't believe so.
Cool. So go. I want you to pull up the specific example of Jesus talking about marriage being between one man and one woman.
Okay.
Thanks,
While
Summer.
she's doing
Thank you,
that,
So
then
Summer.
I'll finish you do that.
how does the marriage between one man and one woman come to man and woman and
Right.
woman?
So
What?
so the reason why is I want to point out that if it's what I think you're referring to, you're cherry picking and then trying to reframe the entire what's being said there to fit your narrative. So I want you to confirm where it says this so we can discuss the correct so that if we're going to talk about this, we're addressing the right Bible story. And if you're bringing up the woman at the well, I'm going to have to correct you on something.
Can you correct me on the woman in the well?
Well, I want to make sure that's what you're referencing first.
No, I haven't. No,
Cool.
Jesus
I have
Christ.
no
Guys, tap
idea.
quicker, please. Tap quicker, please, guys, for God's sakes.
When he's talking to the woman at the well, he's not bringing up marriage being between one man and one woman as this idea of like a heteronormative structure. He's discussing it because he's after admonishing this woman who has had like 4 husbands previously and is now living with a man who is not her husband. Right?
All right.
He's advocating against polygamy, not homosexuality. You're just fitting your narrative into something where it's not discussing it.
Here, let's see what Erica has since we're almost
No,
at
because
50,000. Guys, we're going to get to a new guest very shortly. People in the request box, stay tight. We're only looking for ops. Go ahead, Erica. I assume you want to read from this.
Just want to point out this is the this is the King James version, right? So it said, "Man should not be alone. I will make him and help meet for him." So out of the ground the Lord formed every beast in the field and every fowl. That's after he's created the man in Genesis 2, but in Genesis 1 he creates the beasts in the field before he creates the man. Just to point out that I was correct. And Adam gave names to all the cattle, and the Lord God, blah, 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 blah. And while he slept, he took his rib. Anyway, where's the word Eve? Show us that word.
no. What you have to show is where Adam has these relationships with the animals.
Nobody said he had
What the
relationships with
fuck
the
are you
animals. I
talking
didn't
about,
That's
dude?
claim
what you
that.
said. That's what you
No, I
literally
didn't say
said.
that.
She never said that.
After he was.
She never
Yeah.
said that.
Oh,
No,
You're not listening.
now you
You're not
guys are
listening at
lying.
all.
You guys are
You're not.
lying. You guys
She
are
never
lying.
fucking said that.
I
You
didn't
guys
Nobody
are
say
said that.
that.
lying.
All right.
You guys are lying.
Cool. Yeah,
No, you
sure.
guys are lying
Cool.
because when
Sure. Why
because
not?
when I said
No,
bring up
Keep tapping, guys.
no. I'm going to point out
And
to you,
goodbye.
because
Kota,
I
what I
said
said.
no.
I'm going to
Bye.
point out.
If we hit 50,000,
I just,
yeah.
Kota was so busy talking that he was not listening. What I said was that God said that Adam shouldn't be alone, so he brought him all the animals to be a companion. Companion doesn't mean that you have to have schmecks with somebody or be in a relationship with them.
He heard what he wanted to hear. Hey, guys, remember, we're only looking for opposition, meaning anybody who voted for Trump disagrees with the context of the prompt, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you're watching on the tube, hello, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on TikTok, click the follow button on the top left. Make sure you guys all send in a heart me as well. Pay links are in the bio if you guys want to show support. Not needed, but I do appreciate it. What's up, JK? What's up, JK? How you doing? Hey, man, I just need to know your age. You're not in opposition?
Oh, 46. 46, huh? Yeah, I'm not an op. I didn't hear that part.
No, you're good. You're good. Let me bring you down, but I appreciate the support. Guys, remember, I'm only looking for opposition. Please don't take it personally when I drop you if you're not in opposition. It's just, we are looking for debates for the time being.
I know you hate the biblical debates, Doug, but I quite
A little
like
bit.
them because the
Thanks, Matt.
fact is that they've never read it as closely as they think they have, ever.
It seems that way because they always get schooled very, very easily.
The
Don,
whole hypocrisy.
hello. Hold on, Corey. Don, are you opposition? And Erica, check your Discord. You're not? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring you down. Take care. Guys, remember, please drop in the request box if you are a friendly. A friendly meaning you disagree with me, Corey, and Erica.
I did check it. B basically said, wouldn't that make Eve a trans woman since she was made from male DNA?
Hey, Yankee, how you doing? Yankee, you're on mute. If you're trying to speak, we can't hear you. I will invite you to unmute, though, okay? Comrade, thank you. If you guys have not set in a heart me that was just sent, please do that. Something in the top left. Just helps with the algorithm and helps you become a team member, which is cool. Yankee, I got to give you like another second or two. Are you opposition? Yes, no? Okay, bring you down. Guys, remember, only opposition. If you come up and you're friendly, I'm just going to bring you down. Do not take it personally. Self, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. Are you opposition, meaning you voted for Trump, or you have some sort of issue with the LGBT plus community?
I do not have. I'm not for or against. You have to hear me out, please. Hear me out, please.
Sure. What's up?
Give me 5 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Listen. I'm not well versed in the Bible, so you're not going to get an argument from me there. I am a Christian, all right, but I don't argue, and I'm not going to argue with you as far as biblically the right and wrongs, okay? But I feel the lesbian, gay community should argue more on a civil rights type of basis than a biblical.
I agree. I mean, we only mention the Bible if it gets brought up. That's not something that's typically that I would
believe
ever.
Now, I believe in the Bible. Don't get me wrong. I believe in the Bible, but it's more of a civil rights issue.
I agree. I 100% agree. I would rather not bring the Bible into it. It was only that guest that did. But
yeah.
So let's speak about it from a civil rights aspect. Do you have an issue with anybody within the LGBT plus community as far as civil rights go?
I don't care what you do. Well, you do what you do is what you do.
Okay.
I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. I don't care how you live. I live my life. You live your life. I don't. Now, hypothetically speaking, do I want my kids to be gay? I really don't care for that. If they are,
okay.
I'll still love them. If they were.
Okay. Bye, Erica.
But
take care. What do you mean? Why? What reasoning would you not care for that?
Because I wouldn't. I want grandchildren. I want grandchildren. I want. That's why. That's why.
Well, you can still have grandchildren. But you can still have grandchildren if they're gay or lesbian or trans or whatever.
I don't know of that, yes or no, and I'm not going to argue that point. But the traditional way is the way I prefer.
But at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to choose whether they're gay, straight, lesbian, trans, whatever.
No, I'm not been and that's why I said whatever they chose to be, I'll be accepting.
Right, but it's not something that they are choosing to be, right? Like they just are. Just as I assume you're straight based on the context of everything you've said. You didn't choose,
and I'm not going to argue that point either. I'm not going to argue if they choose to, or if they don't choose to. How it happens is not a point with me. It's not. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, I'm not going to argue that either. I'm just saying, if they were or not, it'd be okay with me.
Okay. Corey, I see you're us. No, you to apologize for.
I'm just not gonna. It's more of a civil. To me, it's more of a civil rights issue.
I agree. Corey, did you want to say anything to him?
I have nothing. No, I'm good.
All right. Guys, we are looking for opposition.
Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
All right, I'll bring it down. Okay. I just wanted to get to more of like a typical opposition. I understand that we could have dove deeper into whatever he said, but at the end of the
I had
day,
no desire to start discussing how like you can still have kids.
yeah.
If you're
And
Is it
I
wrong?
think there is something
Okay.
behind it when a parent doesn't necessarily want their kid to be gay or straight, but they're still okay with it. There's probably some sort of thing there. But Fox, how you doing?
Oh, did I accidentally request up? I am so sorry.
It appears so. You're okay.
Sorry.
No worries, Fox. No worries. I'm gonna bring you down. Take
Oh,
care, guys. Check at the bottom to see if you accidentally requested. It does happen to the best and worst of us. So just go ahead and check. But yeah, we're looking for people to disagree. If you vote for Trump, disagree with the context of the background, come on up. Okay. All right. Guest, how you doing? Guest going once. Guest going twice. Goodbye. All right. Let's keep it going. All right. I think we have a guest coming. Oh, no, we have two. Look at that. Boss, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. Just for TikTok terms of service, I need to know your age, please. Just to make sure you're above
37.
18. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. What prompted you to join? Do you have a disagreement with the background, the context of it?
Yeah, I have a disagreement. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily MAGA. I like Donald Trump, but I'm starting to kind of slip off that slope from recent things. But anyways, my thing with the LGBTQ is I don't care that somebody's gay. That's fine. I mean, I got people in my family that's gay. I'm perfectly fine with it. But I don't agree in buying feeding in the delusion that you can be whatever you want to be. You can dress, you know what I mean? Sure, you can dress like a woman, but I'm not going to call you a woman when I know different. You know what I mean? I feel it's very forced on us. And
which way? Okay. Which way do you feel it's being forced?
I just feel like they want to demand that we call them whatever they want to be called, and that comes back down to freedom of speech, down to the bare bones of what we're built on.
Right.
And,
so it's not forced. I mean, people
are you
requesting or asking isn't forced, you know. But yeah, go ahead, Corey.
Can the police be called if you refuse to call somebody by their preferred pronouns?
No, but I think that was what some of their agendas appears to be, is that they want some kind of action taken if you don't call them by what they want to be called.
No, man, they just want you to give them basic dignity and respect, right? Like if I tell you my name's Corey, and you just intentionally call me Corky all the time, like I can't call the cops on you, but you are an asshole for doing that when you know how I prefer to be identified. Right? They just want you to have basic common decency.
But there's also trans people I've heard of that, let's say it's a man and dressed like a woman, but still identify as a man. So if I call them a woman, you never know what to say.
It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated, right? Because when you're on a one-on-one conversation with somebody, you never use he, she, that, like, because you use you or the name, right? Now, if you're in a group, sometimes you will. So it's not really brought up often, right? And if you happen to say she and they want to be referred to as he, and you disagree, just I think for decent courtesy and respect, just do that. I don't see why that's so difficult.
I think where most people disagree with me is when we get into reassignment surgery and stuff. I don't think, I know like I said, it's going to be a bold point, but I don't think it should be medically allowed for whether you want to do it or not. I don't think this should be. I think whatever you're born is that's what you are. And so it's not, you're not.
Do you apply that to everything? Well, do you apply that to everything as you are born, and you shouldn't make any modifications? Do you apply that to everything?
Sure.
Well, so you're against LASIK. So you're against LASIK eye surgery then?
No.
Okay, so you are. So you are for right. So you're for some modifications, right? You're for knee surgery.
But isn't LASIK eye surgery for a medical condition?
Wait.
Yeah. A medical condition isn't bad eyesight, right? It's considered, I think, an elective surgery, I believe.
Yeah, it's an
If I'm not
elective
mistaken.
cosmetic surgery. Like it can it can improve quality of life, which is why it's something that happens. But by that logic, gender reassignment surgery also can improve quality of life, right?
Significantly. Yes.
So by the same logic of why I got, for example, I got LASIK, right? My quality of life has gone up drastically by getting LASIK. The same that can be applied to trans individuals who decide to undergo gender reassignment surgery. Why are we creating why are we creating a dividing line there?
I see your point, but I mean, most people. I mean, LASIK's mainly for a reason. It's not for you don't just
Sure.
get LASIK because hey, I want to get LASIK.
You don't
Exactly.
you don't just get gender reassignment surgery because you feel like people doing surgery on you, right? It's not
They
like,
get it for a
boy,
reason.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm
How
bored
bored.
today. I
The
think I'm gonna
reassignment
go
surgery,
spend
reassignment
thousands of
surgery is a
dollars and
choice.
have them put me under, and then go through weeks of physical therapy because I'm bored.
Right.
But
Let's
reassignment
keep it.
surgery is a choice. It's not a you.
Well, everything is a choice that you do as far as medical care goes.
Like getting LASIK is also a choice.
Like I said, like LASIK is for a condition usually, not because you want it. These people want
Wait,
to have
no, it
reassignment
is
surgery.
because
It's
you
not
But-
needed.
I got LASIK
You
because
don't-
I
how do you
wanted
know?
LASIK and I didn't want to wear glasses.
But hold on. I want to make it very clear, though, for trans people who have gender dysphoria, because not all transgender people have gender dysphoria, it drastically improves their quality of life. We're talking about a significant decrease in depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and ultimately self-unaliving, which I can't say the word on TikTok, but you know what I'm referring to. So for gender dysphoria, it substantially helps.
Gender dysphoria because that's the thing. I personally don't agree. I don't believe that. I believe that you're born gay. Okay, I believe that you're born that way.
Okay.
But as far as changing your sex or going any further than that, it kind of almost seems like a kink to me more than how you feel.
Is it possible? So number one, they're not changing their sex. There's a difference between gender and sex. Is it possible that, and because I had a lot of questions and concerns prior to this, before I knew more about the trans community, is it possible that there's information you may not know that may change your minds? Because I changed my mind when I learned a lot about the community. Prior to, I had issues as well. So do you think learning more may help you to at least have a better understanding of things? I'm not saying you have to full on agree, but do you think learning more may be a good thing?
I'd be willing to sit down and listen to it, but honestly, I wouldn't think it would change my end result and my end feeling.
I'm not asking it to. But I do think learning more about something is definitely helpful, whether you change your mind at the end of the day or not. I think it's a helpful thing to learn more about it. Go ahead, Corey.
I think it's unhealthy to be unwilling to change your mind when presented with new information that contradicts your previously held notions, right? Like, part of being an adult is doing that exact thing. It's changing when you learn more stuff.
So let me ask a question. Okay. Let's say you're a girl, but you identify as a man. You've had your surgery, whatever you wanted to do, and you die, and they don't find you for 2 weeks, and you're all bones. Are they going to know you as a trans person, or are they going to think you as a man?
Well, I think if you've been dead for 2 weeks, they're going to pretty easily be able to identify you, and it's also probably going to say Mrs. Corey Peterson on my headstone. But also, we're conflating gender and sex.
Number one, you are conflating gender, and number two, why does it matter if they find you 10 years from now? They're not going to know if you're straight or gay. They're not going to know if you're a millionaire or not.
My point is the chromosomes you have is always going to be the chromosomes you have.
We agree.
If you just because you say that you're a woman doesn't mean I need to call you a woman because I know that you're a man.
But that's not. But this is the part where I think it's good to learn more, because trans people do not disagree with their sex as they're born as. All trans men, for example, who are typically born female, they all know that their sex is female. They know what their chromosomes are and the body parts that they had, what they're born as. No one's denying that. We're saying there's a difference between gender and sex, right? Nobody's trying to change it. And there he goes. Okay. Well, anyways, I thought we were having a decent-ish conversation. I don't know why he ran. None of my mods even kicked him. None of my mods even kicked him. But there's always a fundamental misunderstanding on their end, thinking like it always boils down to them not either knowing or believing that there's a difference between gender and sex. They all seem to think it's the same.
He got real Jordan Peterson here for a second too, where he's like, "Oh, they want to be able to force me to say this." It's like, I mean, I'm sure there are some trans people out there who want to be able to like legislate on this. I have no doubt that there are people who believe in that, and I don't know. I just think if you're a decent human being who cares about other people, you'll respect them enough to respect how they choose to be identified.
For sure. I would like to think so. Hey guys, if you're joining live, click the red follow button on the top left on TikTok. If you're watching on the tube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I believe it's in the top right. What is up, Danny? How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. Just for TikTok terms of service, I need your age, please.
26, 27.
Okay. What's on your mind?
Well, I just believe that God will give temptation to people who can resist it. And so if you are part of the LGBTQI community, then I just believe that God will give you that temptation so you can fight against that.
So you're telling me that gay people, for example, a gay person, they're not actually
Not
gay,
real.
but God's giving them that temptation to test them?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm gay. I'm just fucking with you.
All right. All right,
I'm
Danny.
sorry. I love
No,
you. I love what you're doing. You're great.
All right.
Okay.
Let me bring you down, man. I appreciate the
Yeah,
trolling.
bring
All
up
right, take
somebody
care.
that's
You did get me for a
I was gonna
second.
say I was gonna say I wasn't aware that like I had to forego Latinas because God just didn't want. God gave that to me as a temptation.
Guys, I am looking for opposition, please. Please, no friendlies. I appreciate it. Christopher, hello.
How you doing? Unfortunately, the DSM-5. I'm right here. How are you?
I just need to know your age real
Can-
quick, just for TikTok terms of service to make sure you're above 18.
44.
Please. Thank you. All right, what's
44.
up? Yeah, what's up?
First of all, the left has always claimed to believe in the science. That was your claim 6 years ago. So let's start at the DSM-5.
6 years ago.
Diagnostics. 6 years ago over the China virus. At the China virus, you guys said trust the science, trust the science. So
I've been people who are educated follow science regardless. So as you probably should.
Being trans isn't in the DSM-5, so I can just head you off right there. If you knew anything about science, you'd know it's not in there.
The DSM-5 shows gender dysphoria. It does absolutely show that, and the DSM-5 shows that you people are mentally ill. It
right.
also
So Christopher, slow down. This isn't a time for you to monologue. I understand you have a lot of pent up anger. Start your own life if that's what you want to do. We're having a discussion, okay?
I have no anger.
Okay, so
Christopher, we just don't work with your kind.
Perfect.
I'm
so
educating
just,
you people while you're wrong.
Christopher, we're trying to have a discussion, okay? This isn't a you talk down to me. Okay, so this isn't a you talk down to me or talk down to us type of thing, okay? Let's just have a conversation.
Down to you, that's on you.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Cool. Yeah, it says the guy who says the China virus. Cool.
Anyways,
gender dysphoria, okay? So gender dysphoria, right? Are you claiming that's the same thing as being transgender? Chris, you can go.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Okay, but it's not, unfortunately. Okay, but it's not. Okay, but you saying Chris, slow down. Slow down.
Well, then let me answer your question.
Okay,
don't yell at me.
Okay, but you saying it so doesn't make it so.
Well, no, I'm going to go with 20 top-rated psychiatrists and physicians around the country and around the world who have got papers published to it. So don't cut me off and don't shout me. Don't shout at me because I don't shout at you. If you cannot take the fact that someone has an IQ higher that can talk to you and you can't match at that level, don't assume I'm talking down to you.
Chris, go ahead and prove it.
Don't deflect on me.
Okay, go ahead and prove it.
So first of all, let's go there. Second of all, let's go to religion on it because I know half this thing.
I don't do religion. I don't do religion.
I just love that he started getting muffled the second he said, "Let's go to religion." That might actually prove there's a God and he hates this conversation too.
Okay, Chris, we don't need to go to religion. Okay, we don't need religion. Chris, just prove that being trans and gender dysphoria are the same thing. Okay.
Let's go to Are you guys in America?
Oh, you sound very muffled. Can you go speak to your phone?
Very muffled. I'm
Chris, I'm not lying to you when I'm saying you're muffled. You are muffled. I'm not lying to
Boy,
you.
you get. See, this is the problem with
There
you
we go.
people.
That's
You guys
better.
get
There we go.
so
That's better.
excited.
Chris, relax. That's better.
I
Why would I
have
lie?
not changed my voice
Okay,
once.
Chris.
I haven't
So can
raised
you?
my
Okay,
voice once.
Chris.
So don't raise your voice at me.
Chris. Just prove that being transgender and gender dysphoria are the same thing. Okay.
It is absolutely the same thing. Go read.
So
I'm not here
prove
to
it.
educate you. I'm here
So
to debate.
prove it, Chris. Your whole
Go
argument.
pull up it.
Your whole
Is off the
argument
DSM-5.
is
Go
depend.
read.
Chris.
Go read. Stop shouting at me. Shout at me again, you little fool, and I'll get off.
Chris,
Chris,
your
I wanna put
entire argument is contingent upon being trans and gender dysphoria being the same thing. Yes, you are going to have to prove that. Okay, but I'm sorry, people hated you enough to kick you. So goodbye.
Damn. I was just gonna say he said that 20 world-renowned psychologists make this claim. Name one. So let's start with one of them with a published
Go name
paper
in the
on
comments. All right. Speaking fast and confident doesn't make you correct. Okay, so saying something so it doesn't make it so.
Well, I'm sorry, Doug. Obviously, you don't understand what it's like to have such a large IQ. As Chris can understand, as I can attest to, right? When I talk like this, and I just constantly bring up that you just don't know what you're talking about, that's clearly not me talking down on you in any way, shape, or form. You just need to accept it.
I suppose so. I guess that was totally on me. If you are opposition, come on up. Now, whatever your name was, Chris, you could stay. I can't bring you back up unless you send two galaxies. However, though, you can state in the comments these psychiatrists or psychologists, whatever they were, that stated such, that state that they are the same. Okay, so you confidently saying it is doesn't make it so. Okay, so let's get to the next guest. We are looking for opposition. Beth, I think you are a friendly. I think you accidentally requested. Okay. Beth, you accidentally requested, right? You're friendly. I will take that as a yes. Frustrating, guys. Very, very frustrating. Wonder what the tube comments have to say. I bet they're great. Kicking people with good arguments doesn't make you correct either. Correct. You are right. Kicking people doesn't make me right. However, if you send two galaxies, that's just what it is. That's capitalism. All of you guys love capitalism, so you should be all for it. Okay. Tasha, did you make a comment? Did you send a something to one of my pay links? If I missed it, let me know. Let me know in the comments, Tasha. No, you're good. I just good.
Well, Tasha, you're welcome to request up because you keep going in the. You've been in the comments all this time, Tasha, talking about this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see. I didn't realize she was ops. Okay. Never mind.
And she's definitely like I don't hate the LGBTQ community, but I definitely think that like when the Old Testament said stone these people, it was probably right. But that doesn't mean I hate them. Like that's the vibe I get from her. I wouldn't be surprised if I look at her bio, it says God loves me or something like that in the first two sentences.
According to somebody in the tube, I am the worst type of capitalist. Charlie Kirk would debate better than me. I am sorry he can't at the moment. So at this point, I can debate better than him, even if I'm the worst debater ever, because he can't debate right now. All right, we have somebody calling from the tube. Corey, it may be hard for them to hear you, unfortunately, based on
I'll see them, but anyways.
Okay, no worries. All right, guys, here you should be able to hear. Hey, what's up, man? How are you? And they hung up. There goes that. Let's get to the next guest on TikTok then.
By the way, to the people on YouTube, if you can hear me.
She requested Tasha. Hello, Tasha.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, but this is why I didn't want to come up originally. Like, I barely said anything, and I had words put in my mouth, and I got muted straight away. Like, how can you debate that? Like, sticks and stones. What did he say? I should be. I agreed with gay people being stoned. I mean, what on earth is he on about?
Tasha, you can't really debate in the comments, right? So, like, we're up here, we can debate now. That's great. I just need to know your position, and we can go from there. Okay?
Yeah, but I've just been given my position by your people on here, apparently.
No. But
and
we don't debate from the comments, right? So we don't debate
but
from the comments. So I have no idea what you said or didn't say.
This is my point, though. I've literally been here 5 minutes. I went away. I kept you guys on my phone, if that makes sense. And I've been off doing things.
Tasha, you just joined. I know, Tasha. Whatever you say in the comments doesn't carry over to here, right? I'm not going to debate you through the comments. I have no idea what you said.
I'm not on about you. I'm not on about you.
I know.
I literally
don't worry about other
like
people.
5 minutes
I know,
ago
but don't stop worrying about them.
nothing.
All right, Tasha, please, Tasha, stop worrying about them. We're up here. You and I are talking, okay? So let's just start fresh.
They are kind of your mods and stuff, and they do.
I know, just let them be. I know, just let them be. I know, just let them be. Please, just let them be. Let's start fresh. You, me, and Corey. Okay. What is your position, and we'll go from there.
What do you mean by my position?
What's your viewpoint on the topic?
Because it says MAGA as well, so I mean, you got to remember, I'm British, so it's quite different. Like,
yeah. So if you have an aversion to the LGBT plus community, it sounds like you have some issue. I assume with trans people, based on what I have seen. What's your issue? And we can talk about that.
By the way, are you Reform UK? I'm just curious.
No, I don't actually. I absolutely hate Nigel Farage, but that still doesn't mean that I don't agree with some stuff that Trump's done or whatever. But then I also don't agree with a lot he's done. So it's I find myself quite in the middle. I don't say I'm Republican.
No, I'm sorry. You know what? We don't need to go off on that tangent. I was just, anyways. What are your views on the whole LGBTQ? IA+.
I have no problem with LGBTQ. If anything, when it wasn't accepted, does that make sense? About 20 odd years ago or whatever, I was like 7 years old, like fighting for like gay. I know that sounds silly, but I had a gay auntie, so I was very strong. I had a very strong opinion about it. Like when I was little, it was I got bullied for it. Like people made fun of me because my auntie's like very butch lesbian, you know.
So what's your disagreement then? Because it sounds like you had disagreements in the comments. I'm just curious what that disagreement is.
I don't see like how I've said that. Like I literally just said my statement was because it did say about that's it. Why do you hate? My point was that like people can be against the LGBT community like as a movement or as an ideology. Does that make sense? Not hate it, for example. I just thought hate was a very strong word. Like you obviously get people that do hate it and hate people, of course, but I think I find that sometimes you guys label us all under the same bracket. You know what I mean? And yeah,
hold on,
because I don't.
Well, so I
my best friend's gay. Like I'd be a bit weird if my best friend's gay.
Yeah,
like,
I need you to understand, Tasha. Let's be clear about this. The LGBTQIA plus ideology or movement or whatever is people wanting equal rights and representation under the law without prejudice placed against them by a society and its governance. If you oppose that, that means you support prejudice and bigotry against
How
this
do I say I oppose that? And I don't oppose it as a movement.
I'm not putting that on you. But if somebody opposes that concept, that person does hate those people because they wish to deny them basic humanity that they apply to other people.
That's your opinion, that's fine, but that's not what my opinion is. Do you know what I mean? So I don't care what people think.
How can you love someone who you wish to deny basic human rights to?
How can I love someone how can I deny someone basic human rights when I'm just a normal average person?
Advocating for policies that deny them equality under the law and within a society.
I have rights to do policies and stuff, do I? I'm in that position, am I?
You live in a representative democracy. You can vote for people who push those policies.
How do you know what I vote for? This is my point about you putting words in mouth.
Oh my God,
Jesus!
You're putting yourself in this. You're putting yourself into this, and I'm pointing that in.
You just said, how can I love someone as
Ma'am.
well as denying them
uh,
rights? I just
Ma'am.
don't see how I'm denying their rights. It just makes no sense.
Good Lord. No, I'm addressing your problem here where it's like people can oppose this ideology or movement but not hate them. And I'm pointing out, no, actually, because this quote unquote ideology and movement is simply people advocating for equal rights and representation within their society and under the law. And if you oppose that, and I'm not saying you specifically, Tasha, I'm saying if a human being opposes
I agreed and said okay, and I said that's not me. I said, I don't know why you're stuck on it. Like, I agreed. I don't know why we're stuck on it. Why are you getting funny? I generally agreed with you, and you're like huffing and puffing. It's weird. Like, what else do you want me to say?
Tasha,
it's
I'm
like
not
you want me to go against it, like to argue with me. It's
I really
weird.
don't. I really don't.
Well,
I'm disagreeing with your point where you said a person can oppose these groups.
Now disagreeing with me, agreeing with you. Okay.
Tasha, you are the one who said that it is not inherently hateful to disagree with this ideology and movement, even though you also agree with me that this ideology and movement is simply seeking equality under the law and within the society, right?
Right. Do you agree that some people, right, everyone under the LGBT bracket community, some people will view it differently?
Yes, I think
you
some
agree
people
with that and use it differently?
I think some people will support them and some people will oppose them, and the people who oppose them do so out of hate.
No, I'm talking about the people part of the LGBT community. Like, you've got very different people, but are all part of the community. Do you agree or disagree? You've even got some people that support MAGA, but are under the LGBT
Yeah, there are some
community,
yeah, I think there are hateful people within the LGBTQ community too. Cool.
So they hate themselves?
They hate aspects of their own community.
They want to take their own rights away, do they?
There are
policies that restrict their rights.
There is a such thing as self-hatred. There is a such thing as self-hatred for sure, right? There are people who have internal hate with them being gay, and they put that hate internally upon them rather than say other people. That's a thing that exists, unfortunately.
Right, I'm just going to say, people in the comments, I don't know why they keep trying to talk to me and atting me. It's really weird because I'm clearly not looking or responding. It's really weird.
Tasha, you're talking to us, not the comments right now.
I know, that's my point.
Well, then don't look at the comments.
Just leave them be.
I was just making a point.
I know, just leave them be if you can. Guys, if you're joining live, click the red follow button in the top left. Make sure you all send an army. Let's try to get to 100K likes. We're almost there. What's up?
The host is really respectful and stuff. I just don't understand why this guy below me or whatever, who's on the panel as well, he just comes across very patronising, and I find that quite a lot on these lives. That's all. It's almost like you guys actually hate people that disagree with you slightly. That's how it feels to me.
I hate very few people. It's very exhausting to hate people, actually, and I really try not to, because it takes a lot of mental anguish to hate people, and I don't really prefer to hate people if I can help it. However, I do believe, not in all instances, if you disagree with me on certain things, that you're a hateful person. If you like pineapple on pizza, which I don't really prefer it, I don't hate you for it. But if you disagree that people should have basic human rights, yeah, I think that's a pretty harmful opinion to have. Am I going to personally hate you? Again, no, but I think you are a hateful and harmful person.
No, I get exactly what you're saying, but I don't even think that I've even clarified my position specifically, because for one, it's like a hell of a broad term. Does that make sense? Like, I could go through the whole LGBT, like lesbian, gay. What do I think of bisexual? What do I think of trans people? Do you know what I mean? Like, there could be a different response for each one of the letters, for example. So it's hard to really round it up as a whole. Because I think gay people are so different to a trans person. It's a totally different thing. It's gender identity versus who you are.
They are different things.
So different. Yeah.
Right. They are different things, but they are both human beings that deserve basic human decency and respect, as Corey said.
And I agree with that. I don't agree that no human should be denied any sort of right whatsoever. That's what I'm saying, you know. And I don't have any problem with trans people. If they're not harming me or harming my life or affecting me in any way, why would I care? Do you know what I mean?
I agree. I guess now let's get to the more specifics. Is there anything within the trans community that you do disagree with? Usually it boils down to restrooms, locker rooms, sports, or medical care.
I'm not so so bothered about. It's more so I don't agree with women's prisons. I think there should be. I think there's a nuance. I think it should be case by case. Because we have had some awful cases in the UK. If you look up, and I mean like men, I'm talking about using the guise of transgender to encroach, like they've had previous sexual offences. Like, and I think that's a totally different situation. Every person should be looked at case by case. At the end of the day, a trans woman that clearly has gone through all the transition, literally presents as a female, should not be going into a man's prison. I totally agree with that. But there needs to be something else in place. Like, do you know what I mean? To keep
So yeah,
everyone safe,
I think that's a good thing.
yeah.
I think we should talk about that. And by the way, if you are transgender, I do welcome you to come on up, please. Just to, of course, be part of the conversation since it's being spoke about you in your community. So if you're transgender, please do request. Don't be afraid to do so.
Like,
So
I've got
what's
trans
that
friends as
specific?
well, you know. So
Yeah. So great. So
and I
that
hate
case
saying
that.
that though. I hate going, oh, you know, oh, I've got a trans friend, oh, I've got a gay friend. I hate that thing, but that's why I didn't come up and say that instantly, because I know that means nothing, you know.
Okay, so what's that specific case that you're referring to where a trans individual harmed
It's not an
harmed other
individual.
people?
No, there's
You
quite a
just
few. If you go on Google and actually look in the UK, I'll give you a few names actually, and you'll see exactly what I'm basically trying to get at. There's been about 4 or 5 cases of it where people have been in a men's prison, already in a man's prison. They're in there for sexual offences on women, specifically rape, and they have literally started a transition whilst in prison and got moved over to a female prison, and then they've also done it whilst they're in there. So I think that's a totally different scenario. If you Google and look it up, you'd see what I'm trying to say. I don't believe that they're genuinely trans people. I think they are using it as a guise to exploit it, you know?
Okay, but I would like to see those cases because I want to see the context surrounding those cases.
Yeah,
Because I could.
Bryson.
That's fine. But yeah, if you want to like name the names, I'm not denying what you're saying. I just want to be able to see the case. Now, secondly, even if that were to be true, what about the people that truly are trans? Because you said those people weren't. Whatever, we can get to that. What about the people that truly are trans? Should those people be denied where they go based on those couple people?
No, I literally said before that, I said, look, they clearly couldn't go in. If you're literally female representing, you've gone through transition, you're taking hormones, you've literally gone through transition, that's totally different situation. You couldn't be put in a man's prison. Of course you couldn't, you know, that's what I said. But when you generally haven't even gone through any transition process whatsoever, you are in a men's prison, I think, and then you say it, I just think that is like so different. That's why I said it has to be case by case. It can't be a one size fits all. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to agree with me. There are a very small minority that are going to use the transgender, use it as an excuse. Does that make sense? There will be a very small minority because there is always predatory men. There always will be. But they're not. No, I don't believe they are actually trans. So I think it's actually bad calling them trans because it puts genuine
sure. If
trans
somebody's
people.
not trans,
Yeah.
Sure. If somebody's not
It
trans,
looks bad for genuine people.
I would still like to see the cases that you're referring to.
I don't know
I'm
how I
not
can
trying
show you that.
to.
That's why you need to go onto Google and put in the name. It'll come straight up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm on Google. I'm just curious as to what the name is
Oh.
of these individuals.
Isla Bryson. I think it's spelled ISLA. Isla Bryson. And I just put UK, I'm not
Bryson BRISON, I assume.
Try
or BRY. Yeah, guys, Erica would be perfect here. I agree. The moment she came up, I thought that. People in the request box, you all seem to be opposition. We can get to you shortly. Say at 80,000 likes, we can get to an opposition. If you're in the request box and you are transgender part of the community, let me know in the comments. But the 3 people there don't appear to be so. But yeah, I'm trying to look this up. So,
you guys think? Oh, and Tasha left.
Well, that's fun.
I do want to quickly clarify something real quickly. Tasha, if you're still listening, I was simply responding to the notion that opposing a movement means that you don't hate the people in that movement. When if the movement is simply about equality, you do hate those people if you believe in denying them equality. I'm not saying you, Tasha. I'm saying an individual at any point.
I see the case. I'm looking through it. We can talk about it in a minute, but let me address this guest. I don't know how to say your name. Ipsity.
Ipsity.
Get. All right, cool. I just need to know your age, please, for TikTok terms of service.
Over 40, they, them. I was coming up to address Tasha.
Oh, okay.
Exactly
My bad.
the case.
I didn't. I should have brought you up earlier. I apologize for that. Yeah, if you want to speak towards that, that'd be great.
Yeah, so Isla Brighton is a very specific case where the individual identified as a trans woman after being arrested. Isla Brighton was held in a segregated wing away from women while the decision was being made by the UK courts as to which facility that person would be held at. They were never transferred into general population.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing that right here. It looks like this individual, please correct me if I'm wrong, this is what I see. They did grape 2 individuals prior to this, and I guess that was what they were charged. Two women, one in 2016 and one in 2019, and they were convicted of it in 2023. It appears to be so. But that's what I see in this case.
Also, within that case, they found that there was no prior identification of being trans prior to the convictions.
Yeah, that's what I see. Yeah, I guess that kind of puts in like, what in your opinion, what should happen in that scenario? Like, what do you? And I'm just curious as to what you think.
So, in my personal opinion, I think they did the right thing by holding the person in segregation while the determination was made. I also think that the individual with no prior acknowledgement or identity as being trans prior to the convictions, I question the veracity of the claims towards the individual being trans, because trans is not something that you just suddenly one day wake up being. This is a state of being. It's a state of knowing yourself from an early age, and the incongruity would have been evidenced
prior to
the claims to try and
So
in that case, yes, I do agree that the being held in a segregated wing made sense.
Sure. Do you want to stay up here because this is an opposition? Do you want to? You're welcome to. You don't have to. Do you want to stay up here?
Sure.
Okay, cool. What's up, American? I know we spoke. A while back or a week ago.
Yes, how are you, man?
I'm great. I know I asked you it before, but just for TikTok TOS, if you just want to state your age, please.
Sure. 50 Arizona Trump.
Cool. All right, what's up? What do you want to speak on specifically?
Yeah, so I think it's a very interesting topic. Why do you hate the? Okay, so I am part of the LGBT as well, and I'm one of those people that love the community for a long time, volunteered in it, but I did see a lot of issues with the community, especially when it comes to homelessness and especially young men being addicted to drugs and being kicked out. It's a very sad thing. I think where I'm running into the issue with the LGBT community is the addition of the T, the Q, the I, the A, and the plus. I think that really confuses a lot of people, and it's too extra. I don't know how else to explain it.
What do you mean it's confusing? Like in which way?
Yeah, so when we first had the LGB, that's what it initially was. People understood you're talking about sexual orientation, but then we added the T, and the T, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't have to do with orientation, but with gender identity. To me, those are two different things. So it just seems like in the past maybe 5-8 years, the T has really taken over the room and has really kind confuse people
Okay.
and make things more difficult for the LGB. I think that I'll leave it at that.
The T has been in the LGBT acronym. Is it an acronym? Whatever. It has been there since, I believe, the 90s, if not even earlier. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it has been there. Now, it became a quote-unquote issue, of course, around 10 years ago, but they were a part of it for a long time.
Yeah,
So
I point out that, hold on. It doesn't really seem to be that, like, in the LGBTQIA plus community, transgender people were like the issue. People started going after transgender individuals, and that was negatively affecting the rest of the community. Which is like, okay, I feel like the bigots are the problem, not the transgender.
So why do you say that people were going after the T community? How and when
For
specifically?
example, they became a huge part of this whole culture war bullshit from the American right, where they would target transgender individuals and go after them and secretly and use it to also demonize the rest of the community while attacking transgender people specifically.
To my knowledge, the issue with the T really started happening with Caitlyn Jenner, and soon after that, this issue with the T really took over. In my opinion, this became a huge issue during COVID.
Okay. Ipsy, you wanna respond to anything that was said?
Yeah, so first things first here, I would point out that the B and T were added at the same time in 1990 to the GLA. One of the things that you're missing is that STAR is actually the precursor. Street Trans Action Revolutionary was the precursor movement to the LGBT rights fight, stemming from the late 60s into the 80s. When you're looking at the GLO and GLA organizations specifically, there was a recognition of gay and trans gay, bi, lesbian, and trans rights throughout the movements. So when you're trying to say that trans and queer individuals were not included in that, that would be a misstatement. As a genderqueer individual, individual who came out in the 80s and was part of that movement, including ACT UP, I would say that you're doing a fair bit of misrepresentation of the movements throughout the 80s specifically.
So when I said that I think this issue with the T came about, especially during the COVID era, okay, first of all, when we started adding the Q, the I, the A, the plus, a lot of people don't know what that is. They don't understand what that is. And when it comes to the T, when it came down to what people thought is the T going after children, and what does that mean when I say that? Just listen to what I mean by when I say that. When we have stories, when we
cut you off there because what you're doing is you're trying to equate being trans as if it's some form of contagion, which it's not. See,
it has been. It is.
What you need to understand, no, because it actually has to do with what my name means, which is the state of being oneself. And when we're looking at individuals who experience the gender dysphoria as children, who do not have access to any form of social media, any form of outside quote contagion, you're excluding individuals based on phenotypical traits that predispose them to being trans. You're excluding the biopsychosocial schema that is someone who is trans, and you're negating the personal identity. So
the problem that's become
no, American. You're trying
well,
to.
You're kind of filibustering. This is a conversation.
Right,
Let me speak a little bit.
That. I'm going to do that because of the fact that what you're doing is you're taking a political movement from 2015 and trying to equate that in a reverse attribution to those of us who came out in 1980s. And you're also sitting here and trying to be exclusionary to the queer and questioning which is the other part of the Q. Questioning also goes towards the LGB portion of the LGBTQIA+.
The LGBT community has lost the PR war is because of the T and everything else after that. And this is why. When we say that people identify as T, that's already confusing enough for the general public. But then we have people identifying as a two-spirited demisexual vegan, or we have people identifying as all these different genders that just not make sense to the general public. So that tells us this is all made up, especially affecting our
That's not
youth.
how things work.
Now we can talk about the T that there's people that are actually trans. I get that, but when we get these other names thrown in there, we really start to question everything.
You being confused though doesn't mean something's made up though, right? Like calculus can be confusing to some people, but hold on, calculus can be confusing to many people. That doesn't mean it's made up, right? I think it might be good for you to learn about it more.
Well, this is why I think you're losing the PR war, because perception is reality, and what a lot of people are perceiving is that a lot of these things that are made up.
You should learn more about it, though. Whether perception is reality or not, you should learn more about it.
What's a demisexual? What's a demisexual?
So the biopsychosocial schema also includes cultural traits of the community that you grow up in. It has that social influence. The fact that you would come after a culture and start to claim that a cultural influence, such as Two-Spirit that you mentioned, should somehow be confusing. It's not your culture.
Then what
is
it?
For you to make a decision on.
What is it?
That is specific to the indigenous culture. It is indigenous relation to gender outside of the colonizer binary. That's not for you to understand.
But we have people identifying as two-spirited that are young kids in our schools. That sounds like they probably don't understand what it means, but because they hear their friends saying it, they're going to identify as that. The issue is that a lot of people are seeing this as an infiltration to the young kids.
Co-opting of cultures that aren't theirs.
So when we have videos of children and drag queen story hour, a lot of people question that because unfortunately, the gay community is lumped in with the trans, and unfortunately, the gay community is lumped in with the P word. Unfortunately,
no. We're not going to continue with that. No,
they
it's
aren't.
Not.
They aren't.
No.
This is the stupid thing about this, and this is what I want to say. You are literally saying, hey, we should throw an entire part of our community to the wolves because of a PR thing instead of seeking to educate the bigots, which is really gross, dude.
When you go after their children, when it comes to schools, and it comes to the literature in schools,
no one's going after children.
It becomes very problematic.
That's your rhetoric.
Have lost the PR war. This is the issue.
That's your rhetoric that they're going after the children. It's made up propaganda.
Okay, so hasn't there been?
American, I want to point this out too. They literally use this exact same form of bigoted propaganda to demonize gay men 20 years ago. So,
like word for word, almost. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, you're acting like, oh, hey, it was bad when they did it to us, but now I'm gonna fall for the exact same piece of rhetoric when it comes to transgender.
It's just beyond the children as well. Now we're talking about the T having trans women compete in sports, winning pageants, taking over female spaces. When you add all these things together, this is the issue why the T and the A and the plus are losing the PR war. This is why. It's all being lumped in together. Basically, they're targeting children and they're taking over female spaces. This is the issue.
All right. Ipsity, you can go ahead.
So, American, in the 26 years that trans individuals have been competing in the Olympics, how many have won a medal?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
In the 26 years that trans individuals have been competing in the Olympics, how many have won a medal?
Are you talking about trans men or trans women?
All.
And you're talking about Olympic medals?
Yes.
To my knowledge, maybe one. I'm not sure.
That would be correct. That would be correct. It would be Quinn, who was a non-binary individual who did not have any form of hormone therapy, that competed on the team of their assigned SMECs at birth. It was for soccer, a team sport.
So there goes
One
dominating.
medal in 26 years of competing.
So you're okay though with, let's just for example, having a trans man who is a male compete in a female sport?
No, you're getting it backwards. You're getting it backwards. American, you're getting it backwards. American, you're getting it backwards.
Am I getting it backwards? This is so confusing. What I'm talking about.
It's not that confusing. You just don't want to learn.
Man. It really is.
American,
because
these aren't that American. You're the one who's getting confused by a very simple topic. You just don't want to learn. It's not that hard.
No, it's
trans.
You guys
American. It's American. Listen, do you want to know how?
Is.
Okay, great. Do you want to know how easy this is? Trans man, typically born as a female. Trans woman, typically born as a male. That's so easy. Why is it that difficult? You don't want to learn. You refuse to learn.
No, I don't refuse to learn. I do. I actually do know a lot. You guys refuse to listen. The bottom line is you guys have lost the PR war because of the T.
I'm so sick
like 77 times.
So fucking sick and tired of this bullshit of the PR war.
The women's division only exists as a form of segregation for women because of the bioessentialist claims that women are inferior. So the fact that you're pushing this division is actually subjugating cis women.
Now you can go, American. American, you cannot speak when somebody else is talking. I shouldn't have to tell an adult this.
And please stop saying that human rights is a fucking PR war. It's fucking stupid.
All right, so do you understand what I say with the PR war?
Yeah, it's a dumbass claim where it's like, oh, public perception of a community goes down because of
perception is reality. And unfortunately for the T plus community, you have lost the PR war.
Oh, you haven't. There are bigots who are utilizing transgender individuals as a fucking political stunt and a political prop. And you are saying, hey, this is inconvenient.
Am I going to stop you from saying that, or is that okay?
You're saying, hey, this is inconvenient for me. Therefore, we should toss these people out and capitulate to the bigots, which is really gross.
Host, is it okay for them to call me names on your stream, or are you going to allow that?
What name? What name? What name were you calling? Well, then don't be a bigot.
Wait,
Bigot's not a slur. Bigot's not
making everything difficult for the LGB. It should be separate from the LGB. That's the bottom line. Thank you. Have a good day.
So American.
He just ran.
I am a gender individual who is trans, who's also bi. So you have to understand the intersectionality, that those of us that are part of the other letters are also part of the LGB.
Yeah, no, exactly, Katrina. If you don't want to be called a bigot, just don't be a bigot. It's not that difficult. It's not a slur. It's not that difficult. I don't see what's so confusing. I don't see what's so confusing about these things. Like, it's not that hard. You just don't want to learn.
By the way, I wasn't calling you a bigot. I mean, I do think you're a bigot. And I think you're claiming to be a gay man in order to legitimize yourself and your bigotry. But I do want to point this out real quick. I'm saying that you are listening to other bigots lie and use transgender individuals as a political prop. And you are saying that your community should abandon trans individuals because it's inconvenient for you. And that's fucking gross.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also point out that in 1990, with the publication of the Bi Manifesto, there was recognition of multiple genders outside of just the binary. So even within the bi community, there is recognition of trans individuals.
Yeah. All right, guys, remember, we're only looking for opposition. If you are enjoying live on TikTok, click the red follow button on the top left. Make sure you all send in your heart emoji if you're watching on the tube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on the top right. And if you can like the live as well, that would be appreciated. And how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I just need to know your age, please, for TikTok terms of service.
I'm 24.
Thank you. All right, what's up?
Yeah. think the H word is a strong word, but I do have a couple contentions with the community.
Okay.
Coming from a man, part of the community, I think that one, I think we're all, especially, I can't speak much for, women or people who are femme presenting who identify within the community. But as far as men goes, I think that we normalize sexual deviance way too much. I think that that plays a big role in the way that the community kind of operates. We can name all of them: Grinder, Sniffies, Jacked, all of those apps. We all know what they're for. We all know what they exist to cater to. And I think that it's one going to have negative implications on the younger generation. I mean, me myself, right? I was exposed to those apps at the age of 14, was meeting up with people who were 25, 26, 27, thinking it was cool because somebody older wanted me, and not really like understanding, the implications of what was happening at the time. And, I think we see more and more, individuals who are, oh, go ahead, do you want to respond?
Yeah, a 20-something-year-old being with a 14-year-old isn't an LGBT plus problem. That's
No, I'm not saying that's
that's a bad thing. I agree, but typically we see men do these things, right? So like that's probably more of an issue of men, right, rather than anything else. But what's the sexual deviancy that you were specifically referring to? That's specific towards the
I mean,
LGBT community.
yeah. Would you agree that there are multiple apps that cater to people in the community, with the intent of like hooking up?
Yeah, there are.
hold
I
that
got distracted by your
same-
background noise. Yeah, there are apps. Sure. So
Sorry,
you
yeah,
want to work on?
I'm at work, so I have a walkie on. But I was saying, would you agree that there are like multiple apps, multiple websites that cater to,
People in
indulging
LGBT
in like
plus community?
sexual proclivities?
There are, but there's
Yeah.
also ones for straight
Would
people,
you
right? There's
would
Tinder and all that. Absolutely, go ahead. Sorry, I keep going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just going to ask,
sure. Yeah, we could agree
would
that.
you
No,
tend
no, no.
to
I was
hold
talking as a person. Yeah, go ahead.
would you
Absolutely,
tend to
go ahead.
hold that same would you hold that same level of intensity and that same level of condemnation for things like Adult Friend Finder or Plenty of Fish?
Or Farmers Only Duck,
Of
which
course.
caters explicitly to a group of people.
Okay, well,
Or J-Date.
yeah, sure. I mean, I like it'd be different if I was talking about like blackpeoplemeet.com or something like that, right? But I think we all know nobody's gonna go on Grindr looking for love, right? Like, can we be genuine?
Well, there are people that actually meet
Like, I just need
boyfriends
us
and
to be.
girlfriends there. Well, yes,
Yeah.
typically it
Do
is
you
used
think
for
that
hookups.
Sniffies is
Hold
the
on,
kind of?
hold on. Typically
Yeah.
it is for hookups, but there are plenty of people in the LGBT plus community that have met their partners on that app, long-term partners. I'm sure people in the comments will say so.
Right.
So someone met their husband on Tinder.
Right.
And I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Grindr. Here you go.
I think. I think the point. I think the point is right. I think what's highlighted, especially amongst like all gay media, is like the experience of like the YT gay, right? Like black people and like people of color don't really aren't really included in that picture like as much as like people would like to think, and that's not really the case. And I think maybe the experience that you speak on might be common, or it might be something that you see more often, right? But that's not going to be true on my end as a person of color and as somebody in the community.
Sure, there's going to
And
be inherent
So
differences
would
between
you
people who are treated
yeah,
BIPOC versus not. Yeah, absolutely good.
So
yeah.
would you agree that maybe it boils down to more of the pervasive YT culture, specifically the Christian puritanical culture, that creates a taboo, and by creating such taboos, causes a drive for that thing that is taboo?
Uh, Well, I mean, I'm not just speaking on purity culture. I mean, I'm like, I have no issue with people practicing like sexual liberation, right? That's not my issue. Like, please, by all means, go do what you want. But I think that, the way that we, like, as a community conduct ourselves, I think it's like way too normalized for people like during like Pride and stuff to kind of just, have like their genitals and stuff out. And I know we can act like it's not a big thing, but like if anybody here has been to a,
typically not. I've been
Yeah,
to many prides all over the country, and
that's anecdotal.
because part of our permitting structure for us to be able to hold those parades in those cities is that we have to
Yeah,
follow the municipal ordinances, which include not having nudity. This idea of conflating pride with the Folsom Street Fair is a false equivalency and is used as a form of propaganda.
right. So I know, look, like I said, I'm literally part of the community. There's a whole community that caters to like voyeurism, like in this sense where these things happen, especially at events like that. So like, I'm down to have the conversation as long as you're willing to be genuine about it, but sitting and acting like it doesn't happen is just disingenuous. Like,
Are you talking about closed 21 plus events, or are you talking
no,
about
I'm not. I'm
as
talking
a
about in
whole for
public,
the Pride
in the
community?
streets. I'm not talking about like, I'm not saying all of the community like indulges in this, right? That's not my claim. I'm just saying that things like this happen at events like that, right? I think that there's a line, right, between promoting unity inclusion within a community of people, right, who all have similar traits in common, right? But then I also think that there's, a side of it that has a bit more of like an insidious agenda, like, one that's not necessarily going to be coming from the same place where from people who are like, yeah, let me just go to Pride and support my community, right? Like, I think we can all agree that there's obviously going to be, that side of it as well. So that I just don't understand why we're acting like I'm spreading propaganda when these are things
No,
that we all know
I
happen.
don't I don't think that's specific to the LGBT plus community, right? Like I think if straight men had the ability to do those things as frequently as gay men did, right? Because it would be easier for gay men, right? I think we all can agree it's probably easier for gay men to hook up with other gay men, right? If straight men had that ability, those things would be happening too. But we see those things, as people have mentioned, at Mardi Gras and things like that. That's something just people do, right? That's not specific to the LGBT plus community. Any of
Yeah,
those
and
things that you
that's
mentioned.
so. Well, I mean, event things happening at events that cater to the LGBTQ community would be specific to the LGBTQ community, but okay.
Uh,
Um,
but
so
those actions that you speak of is what I'm saying aren't specific towards them. Like that's just things people do. Sexual
Right,
people
and
like
we
to do
would
so those things.
what? Yeah, that's not okay. I never made the claim
and
that only.
we would lose our permitting if that was actually going on in the events as you're claiming, because that permitting for us to hold the Pride events expressly excludes the ability to have nudity in public spaces.
So you're
So
saying it never
again, when you're
happens?
trying to make this as a claim, when you're trying to make this as a claim, as if it is a broad statement, I have had individuals who have tried to make claims, for example, about Philadelphia Pride, and I can guarantee you 100% it does not happen at Philadelphia Pride. I've had people also try and make the claim that it was happening at the San Francisco Pride events, which I have also attended. And no, it does not happen in the public areas of San Francisco Pride. There are very specific clubs that are 21 plus that cater to what you're talking about, that are open during Pride, but it is not part of the Pride event as a whole. It is not within that permitting.
Yeah. So look, I understand that. Like, of course, that's not something that's allowed. But are you willing to say it never happens?
Yes, I am willing to say it doesn't happen because the
And
organizers would
okay, that's
immediately
crazy.
shut it
All right.
down.
Okay. So like, how do you feel about STD rates, particularly like, well, maybe not. Let me not say particularly because I don't want to get like the host slide banana. But would you say like the host, like the STD rates, is like amongst the community being high, especially upon like men who engage in intercourse with other men, like high risk behaviors. Would you say that like
So
that's not gonna be a direct implication of the fact that we normalize like hooking up with random people?
But that's why safe sex
I
is
would
often
point out that
promoted,
the STD
right?
rates within the gay community have actually dropped, and what we're seeing currently is a much higher spike in the STD transfer rates in the cishet community because of the fact that the LGBT community has done things like handing out free sharps containers, working
Mhm.
towards healthier needle exchange programs, teaching about PrEP, teaching about contraceptive use. So due to the education within the community, we have brought down the transfer rates below that of the cishet community.
Which I think is great. And
Yeah, can I just get like a source for that? Because the source I'm looking at kind of really. So I'm looking at the right now. This is just the Georgia Department of Public Health, which will corroborate the belief that it says STDs have been rising amongst G and B men with the increase in. I'm not going to say like the certain ones with the increase in the increase in STDs being seen across the country throughout the United States. Men who have intercourse with other men are disproportionately impacted by certain STDs, accounting for almost half, 46.5% of all male primary and secondary blank cases in 2021. And in areas with complete information on SMEX partners for male cases, rates of STDs amongst males who engage in intercourse with other males and increased in 27 states.
Clarification
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Did you say 46%?
Yeah. So this is talking about syphilis
What's the opposing number to
specifically.
46%? What is the
Yeah.
opposing number of 46%? It would be 54%, correct?
Well, yeah. I mean,
So
it's not really.
54% cishet community versus 46 within the LGBT, correct?
I think this is just like. Well, this, like I said, this is from the Georgia Department of Public Health. So I think they're just accounting for
Right.
individuals.
Did your source not just say that there is a higher rate within the cishet
No,
community?
that's not what I said at all.
At 54% to 46% is not 56% higher.
No, this isn't talking. This was. I think the methodology that was done here was on GAY and bi men. It wasn't for it. It doesn't account for the cishet community.
all right, let's have Jeff go ahead and guys, make sure. Thank you, and I just want to make sure you guys put on your mute when you're not talking because there's background noise. Go ahead, Jeff. How are you?
How y'all doing?
Great.
I'm going to very tentatively give all the tools in the toolbox for this weird stuff here. Let's say I grant you that all of this is true. What am I supposed to get from this information?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. All I'm saying is promoting a culture of hooking up with strangers is probably detrimental. Is all I'm saying.
Well, I don't particularly care about like let's say that I grant you all the information you just provided, right? Like all this stuff is happening at pride parades that you say, even though it's to the extent that it might be, it's minuscule because I've just never been presented with evidence of it. But I'm just going to grant it, and that the STI rates are like completely lopsidedly in one direction. What's the next step in the argument?
Oh, well, I mean, so obviously as a member of the community myself, I think my goal here is to mitigate the possibility of there being early onset addictions to corn, to lifestyles that would obviously have, negative impacts on the younger generation, especially the younger LGBTQ youth. I think that we shouldn't promote a culture that's ultimately going to be detrimental, not only physically, but mentally. That's just quite literally all I'm saying.
Who's promoting that?
Yeah, I would say that the individuals who indulge in it, I would say the people who create apps with the intent to find individuals to hook up with are promoting it. I'm not saying that there's a sole person to blame here. I think that the community allowing this to be a thing, I think it's on all of us. I don't think it's just on one person.
Let me tell you why I disagree. And so this is where I get off the tentative train. This is a bit of victim blaming. Okay. So like, I'm sure you're aware of the statistics of unhoused rates among LGBTQ youth.
Like homelessness?
Yeah. Being unhoused.
Yeah.
Percent of unhoused youth are LGBT.
Okay. I'm sure you're aware of the abuse rates among LGBTQ people in general.
Yeah.
Okay. So I could say that the people promoting that environment are the people who are bigoted, right?
What? So you think that the people promoting the use of apps like Grindr, Jack, and Sniffies are bigots?
Yes. No, not, well, no. The people who create the environment that makes it necessary or makes it inevitable that these behaviors will pop up are bigots.
Oh, I mean, I think like more so. Yeah, I would agree with you. I'm not like disagreeing with that, but
Okay. Like in a similar way that when, and this is one of my favorite stats, the greatest dealer of D-rugs in the 80s, number one, first ballot Hall of Famer, Ronald Reagan, numero uno, he get the foam hand with the one up finger. Like nobody came even close. Matter of fact, all them 90s rappers didn't know what they were talking about when they were like, I'm king of New York. No, none of them came even close to Ronald Reagan in the amount of D-rugs that he sold. You wouldn't blame the black community for succumbing to that after the neighborhoods were impoverished and then D-rugs were pumped in, right?
I don't really think these two situations are analogous. But yeah,
Well,
I would agree.
I'm just gonna have you. I'll draw the analogy, but first I'll have you answer my question. You would agree that that's not the community's fault, right?
For them being put there, no, but for them being used, yeah, there should be accountability
Okay,
there.
so just out of curiosity, if there is a scenario where somebody is impoverished, okay, so like jobs are cut, and any attempt, and I can give you a list, any attempt to rise up from that poverty gets squashed and put under a lake or a landfill, right? You've ever heard of black pessimism?
Um, Not necessarily by that term.
Afro pessimism, any of that? Look it up and read about it. You'll be amazed. But just the idea that here we are in this neighborhood that was created for us, we cannot get out. Anytime we apply for a job, disproportionately we don't get it. In addition, we rent apartments that are not maintained on purpose.
So just racism.
Yeah, just regular racism, everyday
Okay.
racism, right? And then in that mental state of squalor, somebody says this will numb the pain for a little bit and gives you the first one for free because that's what they're instructed to do. They are pumping the D-rugs in, right? And you're saying that's the fault of the person who took the free thing.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like I said, I think that somebody can put something. Look, I've never in my life partaken in like hard schmugs, right?
Just
Somebody
real
can put
quick,
something.
I'm gonna pause you right there. I don't care. Me either.
Yeah,
This has zero to do with you.
yeah. Can you let me finish? Maybe you'd understand what I'm saying.
No,
Okay.
no,
I'm not.
no,
It's not
no.
any
Listen,
like. Okay.
I
Are you
don't
gonna ask me a
want you.
question and then don't allow
Yeah,
me to
but
answer?
here's the thing. I'm just setting a boundary. I do not care about your experience.
I'm not talking
Nor
about
should.
my experience.
Well, when you say I have never, that is literally you talking about your
Yeah.
experience.
Okay. I'm drawing an analogy for you. If you would just allow me to finish. Yeah. See, you could put something in front of me that I don't indulge in, right? And tell me to, hey, like, do this thing, like, or you can
Here
put
we
something in front
are,
of me that I don't engage
just
in and say,
going
hey,
through
engage in
the
this thing.
exact same experience again. Here, I'll stipulate this. You were
That
born on
was
a planet with a red sun, right? Your parents, who loved you very much, they named you Kal-El, and just before the planet exploded, they put you on this ship to send you to Earth to save us all. The fact that somebody puts something in front of you and you don't partake in it, right? You're super special. I think we should all throw a parade and not invite any children to it and just say, "Hey, you are the best." I don't care.
okay.
You can respond though, man.
How about this? How about this? What do you do for a living? And
Yeah, I'm in the military.
say it again.
The military.
You're in the military. Okay, so that means literally millions of people do what you do, right?
Yeah.
All right. I work in SAMD for just in Silicon Valley for Fortune 10 companies. For the specific thing that I do, SAMD, by the way, is software as a medical device. For the specific thing that I do, 7 people on the planet do what I do. Okay. Do you care about that?
No, not really.
Do you think that makes me special?
No, not really.
No. Do you think that gives me license to go up to people who are in squalor and be like, hey, how come you don't work in SAMD?
No, it's not what I was doing. Okay.
Yeah, no, it literally was.
Okay, if I say that, you know, that the mass distribution of schmugs, right, was not the fault of the Black community, but indulging in them was, right? How I don't understand how you're saying I'm blaming the victim, right? Obviously, it was a bad
You're blaming
thing.
the victim because
Nobody
you're
knew.
just disagreeing with psychology.
Okay, so what psychology am I disagreeing with? Can you just lay it out?
All
for
of
me?
it. Just
What
the
part of
fact
it?
that, like, the simplistic way I laid it out, you're disagreeing with that, right? Like, so you agree with every stage of what I laid out, right?
I think, Jeff, I think
The
I need you to understand that.
community is impoverished. You do agree with that, yes?
Yeah, I do
Okay,
need you to
cool.
understand that black people aren't like that. Black people don't need your.
I am black, you dumb motherfucker. So
That's fine, but like black people
hold
as a
on. I
whole
don't give a
don't need.
look. Hold on.
Just let Jeff finish.
I
Let
don't
Jeff
care.
finish. You can go.
I don't care about your pearl clutching. I do not care about your virtue signaling. I don't care. It is a fact that black communities were, as a matter of fact, they dropped kabooms in certain black communities. That's a fact that happened. That's a real thing that happened on Earth. In the same way that it is a fact that people turn a blind eye to the plight of LGBTQ people, put them in the worst of environments. Families kick their children out to fend for themselves. And then we go, well, I wonder why they have this bohemian lifestyle. Society did it.
Yeah, I'm sure there are going to be some causal links there. I'm just saying, like the onus is still going to be on the individual. Like you can't blame somebody. You can't ever.
What were black people wearing? Why didn't they smile more at
That's
the
not
society? I
okay.
wonder if they were in a dark alley when the D-rugs were put in there. Why didn't Tulsa wear a longer skirt? I think Tulsa should have worn a longer
so much,
skirt.
Gabby.
You know what? As a matter of fact, Seneca Village shouldn't have said no. They should have. After all, they took Seneca Village out for 2 dates. Roll them draws down, Seneca Village. How come you didn't roll them panties down, Seneca Village? Of course they're gonna put you underneath a whole park. That's crazy. That's crazy work.
Look,
Wow.
like I said, I think there are going to be some direct causal links, right? But I do think, like at the end of the day, when we talk about onus, right, and understanding the things that we do as people, whether they be right or wrong, that is going to be on the individual, right?
Yeah,
of course,
sure.
people
So
can
black
be
individuals and
engaging in
gay
things.
individuals and trans individuals, they're just bad people.
That's not. I'm black and gay. I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Yeah, I think if you
people don't react to their environment or stimuli. People are not victimized by society. They just do stuff, and then we go, "Your fault." Ha ha.
Yeah,
Right.
it was 100% my fault.
Would you
Yes.
say?
Hold on. It was
Would you-
100%
would
my
you-
fault. Yes, that I fell into hookup culture and amassed a body count of like I don't know 90 plus at the age of 17. Yes, that was entirely my fault. Right? Was I groomed and conditioned by a community of
Of course,
people?
it wasn't your fault.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Obviously, I was a child. That was satirical, right? Like
Even if
but
you were
still-
25, it wasn't your fault.
So I was forced to go and have sex with
would
people.
you acknowledge that our cultures, because I come from a native culture, you come from the black culture within the United States, we have this understanding that we had our own culture. Would you agree that the effect of the supplanting of our cultures is part of the problem. This idea of hookup culture, this idea of purity culture that has supplanted our structures, our familiar structures of that extended family structure, this idea of the supposed nuclear family, this idea of, men are supposed to get as much as they can while women are supposed to remain pure. Do you see how this supplanting and claiming that we are contributing to this while having our own cultures actively suppressed in this country? Are you saying that we are somehow both our own oppressors and victims at
No,
the same time?
no. So, right, I can understand like the individuals who will have a say or have most of the say or have the influence and the wealth to manipulate and change the way that people view certain communities. I'm not saying that the onus of that is on the community. That's not what I'm saying, right? I'm just saying that as a member of the community, the negative things about the community that nobody speaks on, right? The same way I speak out against homophobia when it comes to Black people, the same way I speak out on the way that,
Nobody speaks on.
yeah, that most people don't speak on. Sure, I'm not gonna say nobody.
Most people do nothing but speak on it.
Okay, well, thank you, Jeff.
No,
Yeah,
not
sure.
thank you, Jeff.
That
That's
most.
actually listen. People spend. There are 24-hour news cycles dedicated to
Can I just finish though?
No, I'm not going to let you say stupid shit and just keep talking. There are 24-hour news cycles dedicated to dehumanizing Black and the queer community at large. Just saying, hey, did you see this person? You did it on this live. Hey, did you see that person wink? He must be a P3DO. Oh my God, this person wants to just live their life? They must be a P3DO. Look at that Black person going to the store. He must be looking to rob the place. The suspect looks just like you, sir. That is all you hear all the time. There is a concerted effort by society to dehumanize every single member around the entire all marginalized communities. They do it to women. They do it to the members of the LGBTQ. They do it to Black people. They do it to indigenous people. They do it to non-white people at large. In varying degrees, that would be intersectionality. And so you're saying that the people who have been told for centuries, you're less than human. You're not really a human. You can't help it. You're a horrible person. And not just that, we're going to put you in a zoo. Did you know, hey, Doug, did you know that there are certain places in the global South and, just next door, like you can actually go to Dominican Republic and part of the tourism is taking a tour of a person's house.
No shit.
Not real estate. No. I'm talking about you walk in the house and there's people cooking and there's a dude watching TV. Like they're zoo animals. Like you do the tour and you can walk through a person's house.
Fuck. This is the Dominican Republic, you said?
That can happen. There are tours like that in DR.
In there.
I've seen tours like that in the Bahamas. Anywhere where there are Black and brown people, you can literally go and be like, "Oh, look, they eat with forks and knives. That's crazy. That's amazing." It's a regular tour you can take. Hey, kids, at 2:00 we're gonna go to the museum, and then we're gonna see these people cook food.
Gosh. Boy. What? Yeah, you can respond
Okay.
if you have something to say.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what I was supposed to gather from that. Like, I'm not here saying that the community is a terrible thing and needs to be abolished. I don't know why he's painting me out to be like this person who's saying that, when all I'm saying is I think that there should be a bit more onus to want to protect LGBTQ youth by denouncing things instead of promoting sexual liberation, maybe promoting like a healthy relationship between two people within the LGBTQ, maybe promoting things instead of apps that cater to hookups and cater to instant gratification. I think we should have apps that help people understand themselves when it comes to, their wants, their needs, their desires. instead of developing a unhealthy relationship with intercourse and not truly being able to find, the person that you were made for, because the connection that you have made in your brain with anything associated with love has to do with something that is sexual. Like, and I think that's just a real implication, or like it's one of the real consequences of.
But here's the thing,
Julio,
though,
you
and
just
like
made an excellent argument.
one second, one second. I don't want to make this all about capitalism, but like when there's a need for something, or when there's like a huge need or desire for something, there's going to be things created to make money off of that, right? Like Grindr doesn't exist just because people want to hook up. It's because there is money to be made off of that. Many people pay for the subscription version of it, whatever the fuck it's called, right? Where you get more access on Grindr. You know what I mean? Right? That's where the money's made. So, like, unfortunately, if there's going to be like a need or a want or a desire to hook up and do these things, there's going to be money to be made off of it. Unfortunately, in a capitalistic society. I'm not saying that things can't be fixed, but I'm just explaining why this exists. Good.
Yeah, you just made an excellent argument against capitalism, against consumption culture, pro LGBT education K through 12. Like, you just wrapped that all up in one statement, and also comprehensive SMEX Ed level 3 instead of abstinence only teaching. You literally hit every bullet point to argue for these forms of education that we've been promoting.
When did I say absence only? When did I say that?
When you're talking about the consumption culture and the hookup culture, part of that whole hookup culture comes from abstinence only teaching, because within comprehensive level 3, what is talked about in that is building the emotional relationships. All right. It's also talking about alternatives to actual intercourse, things that can be done to promote the loving and nurturing relationship between two people, regardless of their orientation. When you're looking at abstinence only teaching, we recognize the teen pregnancy rate increases by 173%. When we look at the abstinence only teaching, it doesn't talk about having that emotional bond. It is a disposable form of relationship. And when you're talking about these disposable relationships that you're alluding to within the LGBT, that comes from purity culture, that comes from the capitalistic idea of consumption and waste. So you literally sat here and promoted everything that we've been trying to do for years in promoting comprehensive education.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, if you're just saying that our ideals align, I could have told you that from the beginning, right? Instead of being antagonized and told that I was somehow anti-black and anti-gay. But no, that's not at all what I was saying. I just think that for people within the community, I think as things evolve and as innovation continues to move forward, or like as we continue to move forward innovatively, making new things, new access to shit, right? I think it's only going to get worse. The exposure rate is just going to get lower and lower for as far as like ages to where people are exposed to certain media and stuff like that. And that's not only onus of the LGBTQ community. And I never said that. That's not what I'm saying, right? What I am saying though is I think that within our own community, there can just be, a lot more outreach when it comes to one, mental health, especially. And I know we are pretty big advocates of mental health, but I think mental health in the places where a lot of us probably fail. So like in indulging in self-destructive behaviors and indulging in, instead of seeking, more long-term solutions to issues you're having, seeking like short-term ones, like obviously the ones we've discussed prior. Like that's essentially all I'm saying. That I'm not saying that the community is horrible and it should be abolished yet again, right? What I am saying though is that there should be some onus for people within the community to want to, um, you know, shed a positive light on what the community can be and how it can truly bring people together. And it's not just this melting pot of sexual deviance.
Right, but again, you're alluding to the fact of society as a whole, not just our community, for one. For two, you're looking at society as a whole that has overly sexualized to the point that they only see those of us that are in the LGBTQIA as sexual beings. They look at the 45 minutes of horizontal mambo that we may have a day, and they attribute that to our entire life. Okay, so when you're making these kinds of illusions, you're falling into the very thing that you're speaking against, because I can guarantee you.
Oop, froze there.
Sorry, yeah, can you just point out to me
Yeah.
what I said that I allude to that very thing?
Ipsity, you're I don't know if you're freezing or whatever, but we can't hear you if you're trying to speak. Yeah.
Oh no, I wasn't speaking. I was asking him.
No, I was talking to
or them.
Ipsity.
I'm
I was
sorry.
talking to Ipsity. Well, they just dropped. Okay. All right.
I'm
Well,
just gonna say this, and I'm gonna drop. Actually, let me ask this question. Maybe we can find some common ground here. So when you say promote all these things, can you give me some of the end goals that you have here?
Yeah, an end goal I would say would probably be to minimize or mitigate the comfortability that individuals do have with hookup culture. I think we should be promoting more healthier relationships within the community, instead of the instant gratification of having sex with strangers. That would be an end goal. I would say along with the normal of healthier relationships, um, you know, more comprehensive SMEX ed to highlight, being safe sexually, being tested regularly, knowing your status, things of this nature. I think that there is a big part of the community that kind of puts this on the back burner, and kind of just engages in these activities, not really caring about who are what they may impact whenever they engage in these things. Because when you have sex with somebody, you're quite literally putting your whole life in somebody else's hands, right? And I think that these things should just be taken more seriously. It's like literally all I'm saying.
Okay. So a lot of this sounds to me like respectability politics, but now it just sounds like short-sighted because it's not really addressing the material conditions of the community, right? Like it's not addressing the reason that these things happen to begin with, the reason the environment is the way it is. And I'm glad you didn't say so that bigots will be less inclined to call the community names, because they're going to do that anyway, right? But again, the root cause here is not just this thing in a vacuum where there's a group, a demographic group that just engages in these actions. All of this happens. There's a reason. There's a root cause, and if you don't address that root cause, you're not really doing anything. But on that note, Doug, thanks for having me up.
Yeah, Jeff, thank you as
I'll
always.
hit
Yeah.
you up later.
Cool. Make sure you guys give Jeff a follow. I would like to get to a new opposition guest just because we've been with this one for a while. I know there's people in the request box. We'll get to you shortly. Ipsity, you want to? Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you dropped. You want to say any last thing to him?
No, I think it's been pretty well covered.
Okay. Well, cool. And I don't know what to call you, but I'll go ahead and bring you down. Okay.
Was it a glitch or
I
was
think
just wondering.
it seems so. I'm not quite sure what happened. People in the request box, if you're opposition, I'll bring you on up. no friendlies. I'm sure some people wanted to speak to that guest there, but I'm just looking for ops at this point. And of course, up to you. You can stay, you can drop, totally up to you. But let's see if we can get another opposition or two. I know I've been live for a while. I'm fine to keep going so long as we still have ops. May, how you doing?
Hey, sorry, I'm a friendly. I can go
Okay,
now.
no. Yeah, let me bring you down. I'm sorry. I'm just looking for ops for the time being, but appreciate the support in general, okay? I'm going to bring you down to the comments. Take care. All right, guys, got to remember, I'm only looking for opposition. If you're friendly, just drop, please. Don't take it personally. And if you're joining live, click the red follow button in the top left, okay? All right, I don't think we have any more opposition at this point, it seems. I think all of them decided to drop after that long conversation. If you got, guys, again, if you join the live, click the red follow button top left. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button in the top right. Sorry for the glitching on YouTube, and it seems to be glitching right now. Sorry, I can't control my Wi-Fi. As I said, if I can make it the Wi-Fi better, I would. TikTok never seems to freeze, so if it is freezing on the tube, just watch on TikTok for the time being. Sorry, wish I can change it. If you're in opposition, please do come on up. Meaning, if you disagree with the background front, you voted for Trump, whatever. Boy, long conversation there.
Yeah, it seemed like he was just going round and round about the whole idea of social conformism.
Yeah, it was hard to pinpoint what his exact argument even was. It just appeared to be somewhat vague and things like that. Yeah, and everybody, if you're watching on TikTok, I would appreciate it if you do sub to me on the tube, even if you don't typically watch there. If you want to watch on a second device, even better. I am trying to build that platform on up. I would love to get to 1,000 subs. I think I'm at like 6 something. I don't know, 6 something right now, whatever. So if you guys can help out with that, that'd be great. Thank you, and make sure you guys send in the heart meat that was just sent right there. All right, what else? If you guys are not in Discord, and you do have Discord, you could certainly join mine. I know at some point, like a lot of people are like part of like 20 different Discords. I know it gets overwhelming, but if you do want to join mine, it'd be great to have you. I do it outside of time when I go live. I think we have a good community there. If you don't want to join that, you can also join the bulletin board in the top left. If you click my profile picture, there should be an option to join. I do announce there ahead of time when I go live also. And one of these days, I will have specific times when I go live, but it's not happening anytime soon. I do have huge commitment problems, so committing to a specific time, specific day is not happening anytime soon. But I know you guys would like it, so one day, I promise. Yes, I read every single comment in Discord. Yes. Let's see what else. Nothing else I need to announce. I'll give it a couple minutes to see if we get any opposition. If not, I suppose I'll wrap it up. I think I've been live for a long ass time. I restarted this live. I've been live for 2 hours and 47 minutes, and I restarted, and I think I was live for a couple hours before that. So,
but yeah, the reason I pointed to that to ask that first guest when I came up about the case is because they always rely on that very same case, the Alia case, and like I said, they keep trying to equate that something happened while they were in the facility, and if you actually read the case, they were held segregated the entire time that they were held at the women's facility. So no, there was no overt act, and they keep trying to equate that there was.
That's right. That was the conversation you initially came up on. Yeah. I remember that. I don't actually typically hear that argument from them very often about prisons and things like that. That was actually the first time I heard that in a while. Typically, they bring up the usual stuff. Typically, restrooms, locker rooms, sports, gender affirming care.
It's the UK argument.
Oh, really? It's
a lot of
more
people
there?
from the UK use it. Yeah,
that makes sense.
So for the US, they like to bring up the case out of California, where it was verified that it wasn't actually the inmates, that it was prison guards.
If you guys disagree with the background, again, make sure you hit the request button. If you're watching on the tube, there's a phone number that you can call on. And for when I'm speaking with an opposition guest and you call in, I can't take the phone call. You guys love to seem to call when I'm talking to somebody else. I don't know if you don't know how things work or you just do it on purpose or what, but yeah.
The other one they like to rely on is the Loudoun County case out of Virginia.
What's that one?
Which it took 2 years. That's the one where they claimed that the kid went in wearing a kilt into school and identifying as trans, etc. And it took 2 years for us to fight to get the records released. And it turns out that there was no identification of the kid being trans, that was completely made up by media. And there was no mention of a kilt within the court records. The entire thing was a media circus.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to make headlines out of those things, but nobody ever decides to listen to the whole story of anything. They just love to hear the headlines. So long as it agrees with whatever preconceived notion they have, they'll just run with it. What's wrong with kilts? I don't think that was the issue. Yeah, I don't think that was the issue.
It's not the issue. They were trying to say that the kid was wearing skirts and kilts to school, and that it was using the women's restroom at the school, and there was a claim of an assault that happened. One, it was supposed to be within the court records. It talks about a physical assault, not an SA. Two, the child never identified themselves as being trans. That was completely made up by the media. And the media circus that followed from that stemmed explicitly from Fox.
Surprise, surprise. Fox pushing a false narrative.
Yeah. But it took 2 years of fighting to get the court record released to find out the truth for that.
That long? Why did it take that long? Is that typical for things like that?
Because it was a juvenile case.
Okay. Makes sense, I suppose. I don't have many LGBT friends, and I regularly support their business. Better, like, guys, again, the topic, when I say MAGA, right, this is referring to anybody who voted for Trump. And I specifically want to hear from people who vote for Trump who think that they themselves don't hate the LGBT plus community, whether you're part of it or not. Those are the ones I'd actually love to hear from the most. The ones that admit that they hate certain people and they're whatever. I mean, not whatever, but like, well, that's an easier conversation. They're just dumb, right? But the people that don't think that they hate, because my position is that your vote goes towards harming them. And you may not realize it, and that's why I do this topic, because I think it's important that you're educated on those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Agenda 47 and Project 2025 explicitly stated that they were going to target our community. You can't vote for an administration that states that they are going to target the community and then claim that you support that community.
Yeah. I hear very often that, like, oh, I voted for Trump because of the economy or this or that or whatever. It wasn't for those things. Well, it doesn't matter. Your vote still goes towards everything that he and his administration does, whether you like it or not. That's just how things go. Just sort of how it is. So that's something that you do need to keep in mind. So yeah, those people, you can certainly hit the request button. But I probably will wrap this up, guys, just because it seems to be slowing down a bit. And I doubt we're going to get anybody at this point. But I may actually go live in a little bit, but it'll probably be my seed oil live and all that stuff that half my followers seem to hate that I do. So I may go live in a little bit, guys. I just need to sort of take a break from people. No offense, but but if you get it, guys, if you enjoyed the live, click the red follow button on the top left. If you watch on YouTube, click the subscribe button. I would appreciate it. Sorry, I love talking about the seed oils and artificial sweeteners. I think it's educational. Certain people like it. I don't do it often because I know you guys don't like it, so you got to work with me here. what else do I got? You want to say anything else before I drop? Ipsy?
No. Thank you for having me up. Thank you for
Yeah.
letting me address the issue that was being brought up, and
Yeah, for sure.
I will probably be back.
Cool. I saw you followed me. I gave you a follow back, so you're welcome anytime. Okay. Let me bring it down though. All right, guys. Again, I appreciate it. If I do go live in a little bit, again, it'll be the seed oil live, the RFK, whatever bullshit. I will let you guys know in Discord. I'll let you know in the bulletin board. Make sure you guys join those if you want. But I will be live tomorrow doing, one of these topics or whatever. Okay. So if I don't see you guys later, take care. Have a good night. If I will see you guys later, I'll see you soon. All right.